President Trump posts, "Here we go." CBS's Olivia Rinaldi.
President Trump is expected to speak with the president of Poland later today, President Nawrocki. Mr. Nawrocki was here in Washington last week, just reaffirming the U.S. security ties to the EU, to NATO, and to Poland. There's also 10,000 U.S. troops that are in Poland. We also heard from the NATO ambassador, Matt Whitaker. He said, "We stand by our NATO allies in the face of these airspace violations, and we will defend every inch of NATO territory."
An American Airlines jet bound for San Francisco returned to Philadelphia this morning after a bird strike during takeoff.
American 2035, multiple bird strikes will need to return.
Audio from liveatc.net. The plane landed safely. It's being inspected. No injuries on board. New debate after some recent high-profile murders in the U.S. have been blamed on repeat offenders.
The suspects in the fatal stabbing of a Ukrainian refugee in Charlotte and the murders of an elderly couple in their New York City home were both out on parole. The man charged with a murder in Alabama had been arrested on weapons charges and released. Former NYPD Chief of Department Rodney Harrison says prosecutors and parole officers need to better track repeat offenders.
And making sure we had sustainable engagements with them to make sure they were headed in a better direction.
But CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says that can be expensive.
You do need to be investing in mental health and stabilization.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A new finding on Mars is again raising the question, is there or was there life on the red planet? CBS's Christopher Cruz.
Scientists have been examining a rock on Mars for the existence of minerals like those created on Earth by tiny microbes. The New York Times reports they're asking if those minerals are found in the rock, is that evidence that life once existed on Mars? One scientist who's worked on NASA Mars missions for more than 20 years says he's confident they've found biosignatures.
On the Health Watch, what could be an important breakthrough.
I'm Vicki Barker in London, where researchers say they've developed a blood test that can diagnose Alzheimer's disease earlier and faster than current methods, which can sometimes take years. Now they're recruiting patients from memory clinics across the UK for clinical trials. If successful, the test could transform how Alzheimer's is diagnosed and see patients treated much earlier.
Oracle's Larry Ellison has dethroned Elon Musk as the world's richest man, now worth more than $390 billion. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Would you raise your taxes to support a local hospital? The story coming up at first. KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Federal Way, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound near South 320th Street. You have a crash on State Route 520 bridge at Montlake. It is slow going on both lake bridges right now. An earlier stall on I-405 near State Route 167 is putting a drag on your Renton to Bellevue commute. It's 51 minutes right now. Everett to Seattle also long at 65 minutes. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. For the second time in 48 hours, burglars used a car to ram into the same smoke shop in Seattle's Greenwood neighborhood. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha is on scene.
The owner says this time, though, he was actually here at the shop when it happened. Now, he came out when he heard the smash and grab crew.
It took them 2 minutes to smash the car and then, boom, flee.
And the owner said that he fired some warning shots and that the thieves actually ran away. Now, he says that even though it was hard sleeping here, he really felt like he had to do it because he needed to protect the store, was fearing that this would happen again, and it did.
The man accused of a hammer attack against the manager of a Bellevue Applebee's has pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors say 48-year-old Marco Antonio Herrera Chan was working as a dishwasher at the Bell Red Road restaurant when he brutally assaulted his boss with a hammer.
Sir, you have been charged by way of information with 1 count of assault in the first degree.
Herrera Chan is scheduled to go on trial October 27th. The Pierce County Library System is facing 2 class action lawsuits after a massive data breach. More from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
According to court filings, hackers got into the library's computer system between April 15th and April 21st of this year. KIRO 7 reports during that time, files were copied and stolen, and they included the names and birth dates of hundreds of thousands of library patrons. Some current and former employees may have also had their Social Security numbers, government ID numbers, and addresses compromised.
The library offered victims a year of credit monitoring. The lawsuits say it's not enough. We've reached out to the library system for comment. Voters in South King County will vote on whether to raise their property taxes to support Valley Medical Center. If the levy passes in November, the owner of a $500,000 home would pay about $19 more per month. Hospital officials say the funds would help maintain services in the face of major federal and state funding cuts. A dramatic comeback for the Seattle Storm. A 1-point win over Golden State earns them a WNBA playoff spot.
Back to Wheeler, catch and shoot three, and she knocks another one down! Erica Wheeler!
The team posted that on X. This is the Storm's 20th postseason appearance. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 70s. It's 59 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning and happy Wednesday to all of you. It is September 10th and G is out today again. Angela Poe Russell, good morning.
Good morning. I am so delighted to be here. I'm sorry that G couldn't be.
I know, but it's always fun to work with you as well. Hey, we have a super packed show for you. Of course, what am I going to say as I say hello to all of you? But coming up at 9:30, why are low-income seniors picketing on the streets and even fundraising to buy back what was supposed to be their final homes? That is not okay, and we're going to talk about it coming up at 9:30. As always, we invite you to join us on our KIRO News Radio text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. You ready, Angela?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay, let's get to our top stories brought to you by Bathfitter Northwest. The Seattle City Council just voted 7-2 to expand police surveillance cameras despite loud opposition from civil rights groups and neighbors who are worried about the Trump administration getting access to that data.
I don't feel safer having cameras on me, just trying to live my life.
This data will be made available to ICE. It will be made available to the feds.
Once we cede this privacy, it is really hard to get it back.
The new law adds cameras in 3 more neighborhoods, also will pull in hundreds of city traffic cams and expand SPD's real-time crime center. Councilmember Bob Kettle, who also is a former naval intelligence commander, says Seattle does have safeguards. He says officers have to identify themselves unlike federal agents, and under the law, the city would shut the system down if the feds did try to subpoena the data. But Councilmember Alexis Rink calls this ordinance reckless, and she points out the pilot program hasn't even been tested yet, and there were more than 100 residents who were there to testify, from tech experts to LGBTQ advocates, and they were warning that it's the vulnerable who are going to be targeted. And Councilmember Rob Saka tried to reassure the crowd about that fear.
Under no circumstances will we be sharing this information for those seeking gender-affirming care, those seeking reproductive care, or for immigration enforcement purposes.
So what do you think?
Ursula, this is the classic case when you're a politician and you are between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
There are winners and there are losers depending on where you sit. This is, if I were in their position, one of the tougher decisions I would have to make. Because on one hand, as a city official right now in Seattle, you are under pressure from the police department and the public to clean this place up. And when I say clean this place up, meaning crime, public safety, I mean, all the things, right?
Yes.
And being able to give law enforcement one additional tool to do that. And even, I want to say, you mentioned that Joy Hollingsworth, Councilwoman Joy Hollingsworth, expressed. Do you want to play that sound really quick?
I was looking for the sound. I don't have it with me right now, but she said she backs the camera expansion, saying that many neighbors are actually quietly supporting the move for safety. So they're quietly doing it because they don't want to be attacked for wanting something that some fear will open vulnerable people up to additional targeting. But they're saying places like Garfield High School, which
We have
the
an
scene
unsolved
of an unsolved murder.
We have an unsolved murder
Capitol
there.
Hill.
Yes.
How many times do we talk about attacks and crimes going on in Capitol Hill? And then the Stadium District. Those are all the areas where these cameras are going to be added. And she says she has to answer to the families who've lost loved ones who are saying, please do something. We have a very understaffed police department, and this is an additional tool.
Isn't it a shame that people with that point of view are sometimes scared to speak up because you will have the mob at you?
Yes.
I mean, and that is really sad. So I'm glad that she represented their voices in making that decision. I know this couldn't have been an easy one for her. You know, I guess the other question I pose has to do with something you mentioned, what safeguards are in place and are they going to be effective? Because we have had cases where someone seeking reproductive care, the cameras were used. So they're saying that in that case of someone trying to tap in, they're going to shut this down?
Yes. So that's what they're saying. They're also saying that SPD does not use facial recognition. They're saying that all the surveillance is subject to public oversight and disclosure laws. And yeah, I mean, is there a risk? Yes, but they're saying that there are these safeguards in place, and the fact that it's the city of Seattle with the climate here locally, and I think that they're very mindful of, and the SPD right now, and Chief Barnes has talked about, yes, we understand these concerns, and this is how we are going to address those concerns. If I were on that council, I would have been among the 7 who voted in favor of this, even though I understand that there are some legitimate fears.
Totally. And for that, I have to give them credit because I don't know the exact number of how many people attended that council meeting.
It was over 100.
But over 100. But
And
to
it's
listen to their
overwhelmingly-
pain and the tears and the anger and still having the fortitude and the conviction to vote a different way, that's what we elect them to do, to sometimes make those rock in a hard place decisions.
And it's interesting to point out, too. And so depending on how you feel, and I would love to hear from you, text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Mayor Harrell, who is, of course, in a very tight race here coming up in the November election, he backs the expansion. His challenger, Katie Wilson, says more cameras will not make us safer, just more exposed. So there is a difference there again.
And listen, that's a whole other argument because some people would make the point that are there other ways to improve public safety other than adding cameras? I mean, we
they're
operated
trying to
for
add
many
more
years.
officers, yes.
Yeah, we operated for many years before cameras and we were able to fight crime in many neighborhoods. But this is a tool.
Yes. And it is also interesting because I did look it up. Cities like Detroit, Chicago, Miami, San Francisco, Albuquerque, and Beaumont, Texas already use these real-time crime centers, and studies show that they have led to lower crime. Again, are there issues? Yes. But have they been proven effective? Also, yes.
Ursula with the facts.
The U.S. Department of Justice is demanding that Washington turn over a massive amount of personal voter information. This is part of a nationwide effort that is being pushed by President Trump to back up his claims of widespread voter fraud. In a letter to Secretary of State Steve Hobbs, the DOJ asked for the state's complete voter database. We're talking about names, addresses, birth dates, even partial social security numbers, driver's license info. Now, Steve Hobbs says he's reviewing this request, but he's made it clear that he's most likely not going to give them that information because of privacy concerns. Other states like Oregon and Maine have already flat out refused these demands. Critics say this is less about protecting elections and more about creating a federal database that could be misused for immigration enforcement or political targeting. And I guess for context, as you know, we have an all-male voting system. It's been in place for many years, and multiple studies, no matter how much you want to convince people, multiple studies, including one by the American Statistical Association, have found no evidence that mail-in ballots increase voter fraud. But still, President Trump has vowed to end vote by mail before the 2026 midterms, even though, again, I want to point out that that's something that only Congress or the states can change. So, question for you. Should Washington share that voter database?
Where's that stinger we have?
Hell to the
no. Whatever it is. Listen, my advice to President Trump and his administration is to do what we elected you to do. Focus on the economy. This is your second term, and it's your last term according to law as it stands today. So why are you concerned about accessing voter data from various states? This is not what when I say we, not necessarily me, elected him to do, but the mandate was for you to focus on the economy, and it's been everything else.
Well, economy and deportation for those who are immigration. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that for the people who did vote for him, I think those were the two top things.
I'm trying to understand. 1 minute it's let states do their thing, and 1 minute it's we want to control it.
Well,
and which
you're
is it?
exactly right. But the other thing is, again, there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud. So what is it that you're actually trying to accomplish?
Hey, conspiracy. Weeks or less than a week after meeting with all of the tech giants. That makes me nervous.
What could it be used for? You want to know a scenario that I could absolutely see playing out is that the federal government sees all of the swing locations where, there are a slim margin of Democrat majority voters that could turn an election. And all of a sudden, there's a crime issue. There's an election security issue. And so the National Guard is deployed in those areas to make sure that there is, quote, no unrest. I mean, will you also end up on a federal target no hire list because you're a registered Democrat? Luckily, in our state, we don't have party affiliation with our registration, but most states do. Those are just a couple scenarios.
Well, and again, I would love to hear from you. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Would you be okay with the Secretary of State giving the DOJ the complete voter database with this idea of trying to weed out widespread voter fraud that has yet to be proven to exist?
Hell to the no, no.
There it is. Okay, well, here's a big oops from King County. We talked about this last week, Angela. This blockbuster audit that was released claiming that the Department of Community and Human Services had exploded its grant spending from just $22 million in 2019 to $1.5 billion in 2023. Now, that would have been a 6,700% jump. It was reported in the Seattle Times. We talked about it in our top stories last week. Well, it turns out that number was way off. The real figure was about $922 million back in 2019. Not $22 million, $922 million back in 2019. And then that grew to $1.8 billion in 2023. Still a 95% increase, still huge, but nowhere near that eye-popping spike that was first reported. So County Auditor Kimber Waltmanson admits this mistake, saying the original snapshot left out big chunks of expired contracts. Okay, but here's my opinion. Here's what hasn't changed. The audit still found that the department sent out unapproved payments, failed to monitor where the money was going, and funneled millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, to high-risk organizations, quote unquote, with little oversight or financial controls. In some cases, the county didn't even check whether those groups had the capacity to manage public money before writing them big checks. So critics believe the department's oversight failures and the auditor's error undermine public trust. Right as the county is asking voters to back more levies and taxes for social services.
What a bleep show.
Right?
I don't have a better word for it right now.
By $900 million. But I mean, the spending is still huge. And what this audit found is still alarming.
Absolutely. The thing that's hard for me to wrap my head around is whenever you come out, because when you're an auditor or an accountant, part of what you're doing is telling a story about your organization through money, right?
Thank you.
And so you come out with this big story and people are like, it went from what to what? So when you have that big of a headline, if you will, like a money headline, I just wonder what safeguards were in place to make sure that those numbers were right.
They had to sign off on it. Was someone not questioning? I mean, this is good Seattle Times reporting because they were pressing. So this mistake was only discovered after a retired department director, so that DCHS department, a retired director, dug into the numbers because he was saying, like, this doesn't compute. And the Seattle Times had been pressing the auditor's office for clarification. How had spending gone from $22 million to $1.5 billion in such a short amount of time? And it was only then that the auditor confirmed, oh, yeah, oops, these figures are way off. But my opinion, this loosey-goosey spending with little to no accountability. Okay, first of all, it happened during County Executive Dow Constantine's watch. Well, he's now in charge of Sound Transit. Okay, so that's a vote of confidence. I know you're looking at me. The second thing is, I still want to look at what happened with all that money, and the money that was thrown to these organizations that had no oversight.
I loved the intention behind supporting nonprofits and these various community-based organizations, but you have to have the infrastructure to manage it properly so that you don't erode public trust. Because now, if they come asking for money again, which I think is happening,
yes,
then people aren't so inclined to support it, and that hurts everyone.
Yes.
And the people who were doing it right, the nonprofits that were doing it right, the community-based organizations doing it right, it hurts them.
Okay, so we know that we have 2 candidates for county executive who are currently on the county council.
That are currently on the council, that's
and
right.
So Claudia Balducci says she wants to dig into what went wrong with a full internal audit of DCHS, fix the problems, and then show voters that the county can be trusted again before asking for more money. And I'm saying that's exactly what needs to happen. I have just flat out said, and I am a King County voter, as I believe you are too, I'm not going to say yes until I know that there are better safeguards in place.
I know. I just don't want to. Where I struggle is I know there were some organizations probably doing it right. And I worry about them losing the funding, especially now.
Yes.
So
but until there is stronger accountability measures in place, they shouldn't get another dime. Okay, that's my opinion.
I know. I'm just, this one's a hard one for me.
Okay, under nearly full moon, Sound Transit pulled off a world first. And we're not going to have enough time to talk about this in great length. So
I can keep it short and sweet.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet.
You do. You
Running a light rail train across a floating bridge. This late night test on I-90 hit 55 miles an hour, and basically, I guess it's being billed as this is proof that engineers have finally solved a puzzle that has been in the work for decades. So why does this matter? That I-90 stretch is part of the $3.7 billion East Link project with just under $800 million for the Cross Lake segment. And after years of delays, trains are now set to carry passengers by the spring of 2026. It's only a piece of the puzzle, but here's my question for you. When you hear that this is the first light rail train on a floating bridge, do you feel excitement or do you feel nervous?
Definitely nervous. And I'm one of those people, like, I embrace new technology, but what I know for sure, whenever you are the first in anything, that comes with stuff.
You would rather have other people be the first?
You test it out. But here's the deal. Just like when we have medications, it comes from technology used before. I have to imagine they've taken what's worked in other scenarios and you modify it for this particular situation. It's just that in my perfect world, I'm sure they're great.
Okay, we're gonna dig into it a little bit deeper. We're gonna bring it back in the 10 o'clock hour because I want to hear from all of you listening right now. Text line 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO. Okay, coming up next, why are some local seniors picketing and even fundraising to buy back what was supposed to be their final homes? We're gonna have that discussion coming up next.
The The John Curley Show.
I told my wife once that you can tell the temperature outside.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You count the number of chirps that a cricket makes in 15 seconds, and you multiply that by 4, and that tells you the outside temperature. All right, you know what?
What kind of formulas?
I'm going to look it up. And you know what? You're going to be eating your words in there, Mr. Laffy, traffic, laffy.
Okay. The John Curley Show. Weekdays 3 to 7. Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Cap off your summer with an incredible night at the ballpark. The final Mariners fireworks night of the season is coming up this Friday, presented by T-Mobile. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the Angels in a divisional showdown at 7:10. And after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with a dazzling post-game display. Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
Holy smokes, what a firecracker! Way back into the upper deck. What a year for the Big Dumper.
Go to Mariners.com to lock in your seats and check out everything on deck, including Fan Appreciation Night, presented by Starbucks Saturday at 6:40, and a Super Mario Mariners cap giveaway thanks to Nintendo Sunday at 1:10. Plus, don't miss the final homestand of the regular season, featuring a matchup against Shohei Ohtani and the defending World Series champion Dodgers, September 26th through 28th. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Have you stopped to think about how you feel today compared to, say, 10 years ago? Are you noticing changes? Less energy, slow recovery, trouble focusing, maybe even weight gain? What if you could turn back the clock and feel stronger, sharper, and more alive? At Longevity Medical Clinic, we help people do exactly that. For over 3 decades, we've been helping thousands of men and women find out what's really going on inside their bodies and take action to feel better and live longer. With advanced diagnostics and personalized hormone and supplement plans, we uncover what's been holding you back and show you how to optimize your health. Our patients often say, "Now I finally understand what's happening and what to do about it." Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better. Live longer. Let's do it together.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. The spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens has given me back clear vision. They've performed over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. At Sharp Vision, you'll get the best price combined with the best experience. Sharp-vision.com. That's sharp with an E, -vision.com.
It may be the most noble profession.
Come on.
It's the work of heroes.
Heroes?
You want to live without plumbing?
Well, no.
Then you need plumbers.
Right.
Thing is, so do I.
You need plumbers.
Smiles, actually.
Smiling plumbers?
Or someone who smiles and wants to become an Apollo plumber,
A smile. That's what it takes?
skills are something we can teach.
Sure.
But a positive attitude comes from within.
That's a big part of being an Apollo plumber.
The biggest part,
What else?
a desire to learn and serve.
Just like every Apollo plumber.
As they learn, so shall they earn.
Earn?
Apollo plumbers can earn 6 figures.
Enough to make me smile.
We believe you get what you give.
Give a smile.
And Apollo Service,
Get a smile.
a well-paid smile.
Driving one of those big blue Apollo trucks
That's the goal.
does seem pretty noble.
It's important, satisfying work.
And you're looking now?
There's always room for another smile around here.
On the Apollo Plumbing team.
Apply at apolloplumbing.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Despite privacy concerns, Seattle will be adding surveillance cameras to more neighborhoods to help fight crime. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao reports.
7 in favor, 2 opposed.
The council voted to add the surveillance cameras in Capitol Hill, the Stadium District near Pioneer Square, in the areas near Garfield and Nova High Schools to help combat crime.
I do believe that this could be a tool and technology to help.
But there were mixed opinions on the council over privacy concerns.
Why are we doing this at a time when the Trump administration is using any means necessary to take this exact data to target trans people, immigrants, and people seeking reproductive health care?
This still needs to be signed off by the mayor, who has backed this expansion.
Police say the cameras have already helped them investigate and resolve crimes along Aurora Avenue and in the Chinatown International District. The Department of Justice wants Washington State to hand over your personal voter information. In a letter, the DOJ says it wants to assess whether Washington is complying with federal voting laws. President Trump has claimed without proof vote by mail is corrupt, and a recent Reuters report says Homeland Security wants the voter data to investigate immigrants with. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs tells the Seattle Times he is reviewing that letter but likely won't hand over the data. The Trump administration says Operation Midway Blitz is underway in Chicago with hundreds of ICE agents and vehicles on standby. The latest from CBS's Darius Johnson.
The recent arrival of Gregory Bovino, the U.S. Border Patrol official who led controversial raids in Southern California, signals this operation could expand. But so far, there is no sign of the National Guard and no widespread raids by ICE.
Overseas, Russian drones entered Poland's airspace overnight.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk warning Poles their country is at its closest to open conflict since World War II. This after Poland says it shot down multiple Russian drones over its territory overnight. NATO's regular Wednesday meeting reconfigured at Poland's request to consider what NATO's response should be.
It's unclear if this is an escalation of Russia's war in neighboring Ukraine. Hamas says none of its leadership was killed in an Israeli strike in Qatar. The strike raised eyebrows. Qatar is a U.S. ally that's been helping broker a ceasefire in Gaza. On Wall Street, the Dow is, wait for it, that's down 185 points. NASDAQ is up 68. KIRO News Radio traffic. A crash is blocking a lane on northbound State Route 509 at Des Moines Way South. A crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound at Lake Sammamish Road. And in Issaquah, guardrail repairs blocking a lane on eastbound I-90 from East Summit Way to High Point Road. Your travel times are still pretty long right now. Everett to Seattle, 60 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 65. Renton to Bellevue, 56. Traffic brought to you by Seaport Air, offering shuttle service between Boeing Field and Portland. Use code FALL2025 to save 20% now at seaportair.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 70s. It's 59 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And this next segment feels like seniors are under attack.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely stories you don't hear about often, but it's something I think we all should be concerned about. And it I think poses a great question for us to ponder. So the deal is that some low-income seniors were kicked out of their assisted living facility, and they're trying to raise money so they can get their old homes back. Last year, 86 seniors living at Norse Home in North Seattle were told they had to move out over, quote, unsustainable safety and infrastructure issues. Now, this building was owned by the nonprofit Transforming Age, and that home, Norse Home, had been a fixture in Finney Ridge for nearly 70 years, so quite a long time. Well, King 5 got these documents, and they revealed plans for the company to reduce the building's capacity from 130 units to 32 units.
But
so much, yes. I mean, I think an upgrade for sure.
Yes.
As part of this renovation project. Joyce Jones, who's 95, now lives in Northgate, and told King 5 that the news of losing her home was a shock.
That we had to move, and I thought that I had a home for the rest of my life. I had no place to go. All of the other facilities, I had to pay down a certain amount of money for a certain amount of years, and I had no more money. I'd given it all to Norse Home. Don't close any more senior citizen facilities. The seniors are having a hard enough time finding a place to live.
Former residents of Norse took to the streets yesterday with picket signs, Ursula, and they had messages like 130 lost rooms for seniors will be 32 luxury apartments. Lisa Satin, founder of the Right Place Senior Options, a senior housing advisory service, is leading this effort to buy Norse Home.
We are committed to getting the building back and returning it to affordable assisted living with a safety net. Now we just need to learn how to fundraise and how to get our building back for the people in the community that need it.
So in terms of the company that runs it, Transforming Age, they say that they're committed to affordable housing. They currently develop, own, sponsor, or operate more than 5,000 units across Washington, affordable housing units. And that they've invested millions to stabilize and maintain the safety and infrastructure of this 68-year-old building.
Okay, it's one thing to come up with a statement like that, but it's another thing to see what is happening in real time. And the idea that someone at the age of 95 who has put in their limited income into this space that they thought was their last home, at the age of 95 is now not only worried about where her home is going to be, but her financial stability is just completely rocked. I think this is horrible.
Yeah. But what is the obligation of, because I want to say is this technically, Chef, a nonprofit that runs this place? It's a
Yeah.
Does it have the nonprofit designation?
It does. I looked at their Nonprofit Explorer, their tax records, but they don't have anything updated since 2023. So it's a relatively new company, by the way, in the past 5 years.
And a lot of times that is what's
they changed a name. That's
either they or they were bought out by another company that has different plans. I mean, right now with such a lack of housing and lack of affordable housing, I mean, to basically be able to turn in this Finney Ridge is an expensive neighborhood. It's it's smack in the city of Seattle, and I'm sure they're looking at it like, hey, this is prime property, and we can develop it and get a whole lot more money than to have low-income seniors living in here.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I mean, there needs to be some kind of responsibility, and this is where I think, okay, maybe government does have to play a role.
Right, because then if you go into this space where we then can tell private entities what they do with their assets, which we do sometimes. I'm just making the point that that's where it kind of goes. So you're saying that this is where the government would come in because it would be in the public's best interest to support seniors and making sure they don't end up on the street with nowhere to go, because this was a low-income place.
Yes.
And right now in the state, we have these regulations that if someone has to give, I don't remember the exact legislation, but you have to give the residents who are being displaced or kicked out a certain amount of money to be able to move, like cover moving expenses. It seems like something like that would be helpful.
But can you imagine having to get out on the street
at 95?
At 95?
I can't even imagine. And not everyone has family support. Not everyone has family support. It's a vulnerable population.
Exactly.
I wonder how often this happens when we don't hear about it.
Yes.
Because this happens all the time in the apartment rental market, where the ownership says, hey, you know what? We can do a renovation on this building. We can jack the rents way up, and we can kick people out because we're doing building improvements that require people to move. right? This happens all of the time. And Ursula, something like this happened to your mom, right?
Well, my mother-in-law had to move, but that was she was in a place that fortunately she could afford, and there was a number of factors, but it was a place, a retirement home that was shutting down for renovations. And the idea of having to move at that stage of life is just beyond disruptive. Mm-hmm. And when you are at that stage of life, again, you want to feel security more than ever. Mm-hmm. And this idea that you are uprooted because they're going to put in luxury apartments. Yeah, I mean, that's just, to me, egregious. And I think that there needs to be, I understand the pressures of the market and you're sitting on this property, but you got to make those people whole somehow.
Yeah. Well, Brian kind of agreed the direction we were going. Well, he was saying that you can't force it in terms of forcing this private entity to do it.
No, exactly.
But he says as a city, you need to incentivize it.
Yes.
And I think that's...
Exactly. I think that's where, that's where maybe that missing link is.
Yeah.
And hopefully that they're getting this attention that they can alleviate some of the pressure on these seniors.
So is there a way, because it sounds like they're raising money, is there a way to support, like what's their next step?
I have not seen any links to fundraising sites. I think the person who's helping them said they need to figure out how to fundraise. So they're in the initial stages, but I can make contact with them. Just a reminder, too, on nonprofits, that doesn't mean that people can't get paid a lot in those organizations.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
And they can't accrue the increased value of the land. That money cannot be made when properties are sold.
Yes, budgets are still budgets, and they still have to
pay the
make
bills.
sense, and people can still get greedy in them. That too.
This is true, and unfortunately, in this case, the ones that are taking the brunt of it are
the older, the seniors, low-income seniors.
Okay, still ahead, we are going to be talking about whether it's okay to ask for separate checks. I say yes in most situations, but apparently some people are blasting this woman who admits that's what she did.
Exactly. She's a financial columnist, but she goes out to dinner like the rest of us, and her views people did not agree with. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes.
Stay with us.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO Newsradio. 97.3 FM, powered by mynorthwest.com.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start September 17th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
You hear that? That's Mike. sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
You're invited to the birthday party of a lifetime. Warner Brothers Discovery presents Bugs Bunny at the Symphony, coming to Benaroya Hall, October 10th, 11th, and 12th, in a special new 35th anniversary edition. Enjoy classic Looney Tunes on the big screen as the Seattle Symphony plays the unforgettable music scores live. Ticket info at seattlesymphony.org.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. To celebrate, Bathfitter is offering payments as low as $125 a month. Ursula Reutin here. I chose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This special offer won't last. This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is in for Gee today, and this is always a touchy topic because who ends up paying for the bill when you go out?
Yes, this is our we need to talk because this became a big controversy in at least this one woman's world. You know, so here's the question we're posing. Is it okay to ask for a separate check as opposed to evenly splitting it? Are you going to judge the person in your group for insisting on a separate check? Well, a Washington Post columnist, Michelle Singletary, she was roasted for this. She took a lot of heat from readers when she explained her philosophy that she always will ask for a separate check. You should know Singletary is a personal finance columnist, and she says good money management may require building a fence around your finances, not out of stinginess, but out of a need to govern how you spend your money. So when she posted her rule on social media that she always will ask for her own bill, a poster on Thread said, We split the bill evenly. I do not want to eat with mathematicians. Another wrote, seems trivial and petty. Nice way to spoil a night out, arguing over what amounts to pennies. Makes no sense with a C at all. But Singletary says you have to live your financial truth. Some folks are on a budget, maybe making less. And she said she never puts anything on her credit card in a group because people will say, okay, I'll Venmo or Zelle you. And then she says people forget, and then you're playing debt collector.
Oh, and that feels icky.
So this is the question I want to pose to you. Are you going to, because I bet you're the type of person who will just split evenly no matter. You strike me as that person.
I often do.
My question is, Are you going to judge someone if you're in a group that says, you know what, I really would want my own check? Are you going to judge them?
No. And in fact, I love it when people say, hey, let's just, do separate checks, because it takes the pressure off me. The reality is I am the person who, I don't drink. Everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink alcohol. And, but if I did, or if I buy, sometimes I like to buy an appetizer, or sometimes I like to add something, or sometimes I will be purchasing something that is a lot more than someone else is eating. I don't want them to be subsidizing my bill. I would rather say, hey, if we're going to split it, let's do separate checks, because I want to pay my actual share of what this bill is. I don't want to impose on some. So you can look at it some other way. You can look at it as, oh, that person's cheap, or that person's trying to be really fair and not make you pay more.
Yeah. I can tell you I have been that person wishing that I would speak up for myself and ask for the separate check.
Right.
I've been that person. I've been around, like, you go to some restaurant that someone picked that's really, really expensive. I don't drink either, and let's say I really didn't eat much, but I'm afraid to say something.
Because they're going to say, oh,
I'm
she's
going to
cheap.
look petty.
Yes.
I'm going to look petty. And the thing is, it's not petty if you're on a budget.
And I'm sorry, but Chef, maybe you can weigh in on this one. It's not that hard for them to split the check anymore. I mean, to actually separate the check. Hey, just keep track of what I'm ordering and make me pay for what I'm ordering.
Mm-hmm. It's relatively easy.
It is.
It's more complicated when you have, people who are sharing things at a larger table, 6+. It's pretty standard to have no split check policies.
Sure.
I think all of the people who say, you're a miser if you don't split the check, those are the people that are ordering the $100 bottle of wine when I would have got the one for $40. Those are the people who are like, I'm going to have dessert. I'm having an appetizer. I'm having the second most expensive item on the menu. Oh, and how about we share this thing too? I'm just going to order this for the table, right? Like an appetizer for the table that has 3 bites that they end up eating.
Right.
And I hate splitting checks. Like, I want to leave the restaurant immediately when it comes up because it's so freaking awkward sometimes.
When you say splitting checks, you mean you don't want to split evenly. You want to just have your separate.
I want separate checks. Just don't deal with it. And what people don't realize is that restaurants are service businesses. People are so scared to ask for what they want in places, thinking like, oh, this is going to be a burden on my server. This is going to be a burden on the store. Ask for what you want and you need.
Exactly. Well, actually, someone just texted in and said, being a bartender for years, I always found that it benefited me to give separate checks. And this person says, when in a large party, people don't necessarily tip very well, but with separate checks, you at least get a tip per person.
Okay, great point. She brought this up in her column that she Venmos people as soon as she orders if they're not splitting a check. And in my brain, I'm thinking, did you include the tax and the tip in what you Venmo'd that person?
Thank you.
Because if you ever get stuck with the check on your card, people will, if they actually bother to pay you, they'll pay you the price of their entree, but not the tax, not the tip, and screw that.
Okay, I will say that might have been a bigger issue when I was a little younger. I mean, anymore, though, I mean, that is where you would get burned.
Yes.
If you take on the whole bill and then people will give you cash and they're forgetting, wait a minute, there's tax and tip.
Somehow I'm on the short end of this, I think the takeaway is we should be, even if you think your friends are on the same financial plane as you or for whatever reason, if someone really wants their separate check,
it's not a big
how
deal.
about just let them have it?
Yes.
Because
Don't judge.
Yes, let's not judge. And you know what? I want to add this about the tipping. I think I tip better when there are separate checks because I never want to be the person that brought the tip down.
Exactly.
Right?
Sweeping statement. If you are not splitting the check, don't let the woman put it on her card, because from my experience, women are consistently lower tippers than men. That is my
Excuse
sweeping
me?
statement.
You know I'm going to research this.
That's fine.
Please
don't,
do.
Okay, I don't agree with that. Okay, I need to share a sentiment that's different from ours. 206 texted in and said, yes, I totally judge a person who has to have separate checks. The extra cost is for the enjoyment of the other's company and spending all evening out with friends.
You need a sponsor? Is that what you need?
I mean, it is convenient when it's like, oh, just split evenly amongst us all.
You know, and there
you're
are
just
times
sitting
when
there.
it really is going to be like not a big deal, and just or say, we'll do half and half, you know, your family, my family, as long as it's not 8 people with your family and 2 people with my
Yes,
family.
or the $100 bottle of wine.
Exactly. Again, I think bottom line is, our takeaway is, it's okay to ask for separate checks.
Yes, ask for what you want.
Okay,
Mind your
except
money.
for 206. Okay, coming up, we have more of the Gee and Ursula Show. Stay with us.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
More fiber and laxatives, eh? Who are you? I'm future you. Future me? Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jane Schwartz for Techline Roofing. Summer is the perfect time for a new roof. Take advantage of our easy financing, summer specials, and the best warranty in the business. Have a great summer. See you next hockey season. Trust Techline.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. There's been wide condemnation of Russia's violation of Polish airspace. Poland says it shot down several Russian drones that strayed as part of a Ukraine attack, calling it aggression. CBS's Vicky Barker.
Word of the incursion came as Britain was hosting the defense ministers of the E5, the 5 European nations that spend most on defense. Britain's John Healey making it clear Poland's allies in NATO are taking the incident seriously and plan to act accordingly.
I've asked our UK armed forces to look at options to bolster NATO's air defense,
saying explicitly that Russia had breached Polish airspace, which is also NATO airspace.
Well, President Trump's Washington, D.C. police order expires today, 30 days after it was issued. WUSA TV's Marcella Robinson.
You can still expect to see a number of National Guard troops and other federal agencies alongside MPD for the days and weeks to come. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says the biggest change here is that D.C. officials will be in charge.
The MPD is not compelled to provide MPD services as directed by the president.
A Senate committee has approved the nomination of White House advisor Stephen Myron to the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors, setting up likely approval by the full Senate. CBS's Michael Wallace tells us a judge has ruled Fed Governor Lisa Cook can keep her job for now.
President Trump tried to fire Cook, claiming she had falsified her mortgage documents. Her lawyer said her attempted firing was politically motivated, with Trump looking to appoint new Fed members who will follow through with the interest rate cuts he's been calling for. The judge ruled a Fed governor can only be fired for wrongdoing while in office. Cook signed her mortgage documents a year before she joined the Fed. She has not been charged of any crime.
The NCAA has permanently revoked the eligibility of 3 Division I college basketball players for betting on their own games at Fresno State and San Jose State. The 3 also bet on each other's games and shared betting information during last season. On the Health Watch, COVID-19 is no longer one of the top 10 causes of death in the U.S., as we hear from CBS's Christopher Cruz.
Suicide took the place of the coronavirus on the 2024 list, compiled by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death in America. Cancer is at number 2. And the CDC says the number of deaths from both is higher than in 2023.
Today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and Oregon public health official Dr. Richard Bruno says the message is simple.
I think the biggest thing is just recognizing that suicide is preventable. You know, hope is real and help is real. In this week, I think it's really making sure we're all committing to breaking the silence around mental health.
This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
A local sheriff under state investigation over his social media post. The story coming up, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. A crash is blocking a lane on northbound State Route 509 at Des Moines Way South. The crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound at Lake Sammamish Road. And in Issaquah, guardrail repairs blocking a lane on eastbound I-90 from East Sunset Way to High Point Road. Your travel times are still struggling to come down. Federal Way to Seattle still 55 minutes. Renton to Bellevue 48. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. For the second time in 48 hours, burglars used a car to ram into the same smoke shop in Seattle's Greenwood neighborhood. But this time, the owner was sleeping inside the business, he tells KIRO 7 TV.
It took them 2 minutes to smash the car and then, boom, flee.
He says he fired some warning shots. We're learning that a double stabbing in Kirkland September 4th may have been retaliation. One of the victims says the attack happened hours after she told police the suspect had assaulted her. The man allegedly stabbed her and her 78-year-old mother, who died. KIRO 7 TV says the suspect's being held on $10 million bail. Trial is set next month for an Applebee's dishwasher accused of attacking his manager with a hammer.
Assault in the first degree.
Prosecutors say 48-year-old Marco Antonio Herrera Chan assaulted his manager at the Applebee's on Bell Red Road in Bellevue, attacking him with scissors and a hammer. Afterward, he told police he didn't know why he did it. King County prosecutors have charged him with first-degree assault. Herrera Chan appeared before a King County judge to enter a not guilty plea. Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank is under investigation for controversial social media posts. At least 2 complaints have been filed over posts, including one that questioned whether transgender people should be banned from owning guns. The Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission is investigating whether the posts involve prejudice or discrimination. He could be required to get additional training or be stripped of his certification as an officer. Tacoma police want your help finding a missing boy.
7-year-old Skylar Doty. They say he's on the spectrum, very social and friendly. He was last seen in downtown Tacoma about 8 o'clock Tuesday night. At the time, he was wearing a green camo t-shirt, blue jeans, and black sneakers. If you see Skylar or if you have any information about where he might be, please call 911 right away.
KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi there. We have posted Skylar's photo at mynorthwest.com. A huge win for the Seattle Mariners last night.
Goodbye, Randy Arozarena! A 3-run blast!
Arozarena helping lift the team to a 5-3 win over the St. Louis Cardinals. The M's sit just 1 game behind Houston for the lead in the division now. Seattle looks to sweep the Cardinals tonight at T-Mobile. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine with highs in the low 70s. It's 61 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show, our Wednesday edition. It is already September 10th. Is this right? Angela
right?
Russell in for G today. I feel like we were just talking about July, and now we're almost in the middle of September. What is happening?
I tell you one thing I am looking forward to. I love when the trees start to change color. The colors. I love seeing the fall colors.
Yes.
They're beautiful around here.
They are beautiful.
And I love summer too.
And I love summer too.
Okay,
and
they are
beautiful.
Season.
Now, if you are going to enjoy the fall colors, have you been to the Arboretum in the fall time? Oh my word.
Is it amazing?
It is amazing. And that is just that is a place that you have to check out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would love to hear your favorite fall places too. But if you really want to take in the leaves and just the changing seasons, like what is your favorite place to go to?
Oh, that's a good
Text
one.
us, 888-973-5476, 888-97-3 KIRO. Hey, coming up at 10:30, are you one of those that, hey, there's a new iPhone out, you got to go buy it? Are you first in line?
I used to be. I'm going to tell you why it was damaged.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that coming up at 10:30. Text us again, 888-973-5476, 888-97-3 KIRO, and welcome on YouTube. We love you over there as well.
What's new at 10?
Okay, you heard it in Heather's newscast, Angela. For the second time in not even 48 hours, crooks have used cars to smash their way into a tobacco shop in Seattle's Greenwood neighborhood. The owner, Zain Ul Avidin, was spending the night, though, this time inside Exhale Tobacco, and he thinks it's the same culprits who smashed into the store overnight on Monday who decided to return early Wednesday around 3 a.m., but this time he says he had a gun.
3 cars came. They used 1 car to break it, and we ran outside, and I shot 4 times.
Well, he says that did the trick. He says the robbers ran away after that, but now he's worried that the crew is going to come back a third time.
I don't know what to do, how to stop these guys.
And I mean, when I actually saw the KIRO 7 TV reporter out there this morning, and I thought, well, why are they doing that story again? Didn't I just see that just a couple of days ago? And I was thinking, is there an update? Yeah, the update was these crooks broke back in. And, last hour we were talking about what we could use surveillance cameras for and expanded camera use. And I think this would be one of those. Exactly, one of those examples where the SPD, according to the owner, had just been there because of the first break-in, had just been there minutes before these robbers decided to come back.
Imagine being so desperate to hold on to your livelihood that you are willing to sleep in your store and confront the people who try to come take what's yours again. I mean, this is one of those, it just reminds me, we have to partner with our small businesses. They are the backbone of our communities. And when I say we, the city needs to support these people so they can thrive. And supporting means holding these people that do this accountable.
Absolutely.
Doing everything we can, you're not knock this stuff off.
Yes.
As
of right now, though, no one's been arrested. It goes back to, you're exactly right. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're exactly right. They need to be held accountable. So, it goes from giving the resources, and it sounds like SPD was doing what they could. They were patrolling the area.
Totally. Yes.
But
they could use another tool, according to some city officials.
Well, exactly. And the other thing would be if and when these culprits are caught, the crooks, everything needs to be thrown at them. It's why people get so frustrated when we hear that, once again, someone is allowed to go free even after they've had crime after crime after crime. Do you remember, though, when I don't want us to get immune to this idea that of these break-ins, because you can talk to people about how crime is going down in the city of Seattle, but when that means nothing to a business owner like this. This person.
There's a tiny little place near my house, and when I tell you it is tiny, it's tiny. And they just sell little goods, right? Little drinks and snacks. And they've had the break-ins and smashed their car into the place. And they had to build these metal, I forget the technical name for them, but they had to build some stuff around their place to prevent cars from smashing into their place. And so all this stuff costs money. All this stuff takes away from their bottom line of being able to make a living. I just think about how accustomed we have gotten to having security in grocery stores. Like the fact that every grocery store I go to has to have a security person up front. And it's not just for theft. It's all of it. It's all of it. And I don't want to get immune to that.
No, exactly.
We're now at a point where things are being locked up. Now you need a key to get the formula, to get the diapers. And I know if Gee were here,
ice cream.
Now, if Gee were here, he would argue that this is why we have to address poverty. But some of this stuff, it's these what do you call these are big operations.
Oh yeah,
these are big operations that are selling to people.
Absolutely,
this isn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I know my heart goes out to this owner. Imagine. And he'd already said that it was like $70,000 worth of damage the first time around, and then they have the. I don't want to say guts. There's another word I was going to use, to go back again to the same place.
Oh, yeah.
Someone is determined to put this person out of business. Okay, speaking of businesses, have you been to a pharmacy lately? So
I go to the one you're about to talk about.
Yeah, okay. So for generations, Bartell Drugs, of course, was our neighborhood pharmacy, right? A Northwest institution. But after Rite Aid bought out Bartell's, and then Rite Aid goes bankrupt, and CVS has swooped in and taken over a lot of the stores, a lot of people are discovering that their prescription refills are not simple anymore. In fact, they're a nightmare. So what they're discovering is that insurance networks don't always follow these corporate buyouts. For example, even though CVS now owns those Bartell and Rite Aid stores, your health plan may not recognize CVS as in-network. And so the Seattle Times talked to some folks, so longtime customers who've been picking up their meds at the same counter for years. They're now dealing with hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars in some cases of bills. One Shoreline woman who's on Medicaid says that she was told her refill would cost $800 out of pocket. Now, I have been in line, and I shared that I used to go to the Rite Aid that has now shut down in my neighborhood. And if you've ever seen someone who is elderly being told that their prescription either is not available or there's some issue with it, or that it's going to cost just this enormous amount of money, it is heartbreaking. I mean, we could go into a whole long conversation about how broken our system is. But the State Department of Health is urging patients to put in refill requests early. But CVS now controls nearly 50 former Bartell and Rite Aid storefronts in Washington, and they're closing pharmacies faster than they're opening new ones.
It's heartbreaking because I know there are already barriers to elderly people oftentimes getting to the pharmacy to get their medications, right? Accessibility. Then you add this complication. You know, I have been a loyal Bartell's customer, and so all of this has been has felt so personal to me.
Yes.
And I just got the notification in the mail that said your Bartell's is changing and you need to open this letter, and I kind of was ignoring it, but now I'm starting to wonder, will the medications that we have there for my girls, for me, be covered? And yeah.
Well, is the pharmacy still open? The reason I ask this is because my Rite Aid, I did not move it before my Rite Aid closed, and I should have, because now it has been transferred to the closest CVS, which is in Greenwood. So I actually have to drive.
Oh, yeah. I drive 30 minutes, 30 minutes to the Bartell, because I was trying to stay with Bartell's. And the one that was, I know, I was trying to stick with Bartell, so my closest one was Bellevue. Well, there is one closer on Rainier, but they have nothing in there. I keep saying, you guys are, there's nothing. You can't find soap. You can't find, there's
I'm
nothing.
out.
So I drive all the way to Bellevue I can support, but I know.
Wow. Okay.
I can't let it go.
And Chef the other day was texting us with all your nightmare. Yes.
Okay. So first of all, they say, get your prescriptions in early. Well, a lot of people don't have that option. So I, for one, I take a controlled substance for adult ADD, right? And so they cannot fill it early. When Bartell switched over to CVS and I go to fill my medication, I called them up and I said, is it ready yet? And they said, we don't have anything on file for you. And I asked, what do you mean by that? They said, well, when we changed names, all the prescriptions went away for controlled substances. So we don't have that on file for you, and we can't transfer it to another pharmacy. I said, okay, well, let me get my doctor to send you a new prescription. And they say, oh, I'm sorry. We don't even have a license to be able to sell controlled medications in Washington State yet. So I have to go to another pharmacy. Yeah, that was a CVS. So I have to go to the Walgreens now. Let me tell you about Walgreens. First of all, getting a person on the phone there is literally impossible.
Yep.
The AI system that they use to answer the phones cannot understand people at all. I have probably spent 4 hours on the phone at Walgreens and been able to get an answer one time. I've been on hold for an hour and had them hang up on me.
Okay, so facts. There's a Walgreens 2 minutes from my house, and I drove to Bellevue to go to Bartell's. Here's where I think we should do. Costco is a local company, and Costco has the pharmacy, and I think we may need to just go to Costco.
What's happening? But for a lot of people, that's just not.
I know,
feasible.
Costco. I know.
It's not
There's a membership
for some people,
fee,
it's
and it's a
close.
big.
I don't think you need a membership fee, or you don't need a membership to access the pharmacy.
Oh, you don't?
No, you do not.
Oh, okay, but still,
can I give you a little bit more?
Yes, the whole
there's
thing
more.
is
But
pharmacy
there's
deserts
more.
are real.
Half the time I've tried to fill medications for myself or my son, they have not been in stock, and it's been a 5-day wait. I have probably spent a dozen hours trying to get prescriptions, and it was so bad, you might have noticed I wasn't here 2 days last week because they couldn't fill a a medication for me, and I went into medication withdrawal in the studio. I turned white as a ghost.
You did.
I'm like sweating and having chills. And if there are certain medications, if you run out, it's really bad for you, and it's dangerous.
Yes.
And so we are working in a system, a pharmacy system, where we pay the most expensive drug prices in the world. Yet the companies say that the pharmacies are loss leaders, so they don't want to invest in having enough staff or stock on hand, and they're closing left and right. And it does not make sense.
You're right. And I do want to say something, just a shout out to the pharmacists and the pharmacy technicians who have to take the brunt of the anger of people who are just getting the runaround. It's the corporation's fault, the ones that are still in business, that are understaffing. And, unfortunately, the people who are working there get the brunt of it.
The pharmacist at Walgreens told me the other night when I went in, she said you would not believe how angry people are all of the time.
Seen it.
There's a sign next to the window that says, please remember that these are people you're talking to.
Yes.
Be kind. And it's not even like you have to deal with the doctors, you have to deal with the pharmacy or insurance company, you have to deal with the pharmacy benefit manager, and now you have to deal with federal regulations. She's telling me that people trying to get their COVID vaccine can't get it now because of the FDA guidance that came out from, even though Washington State has said.
And I want to be careful about that, though, because Washington State is saying something different.
But that has not been implemented at the corporate level at a lot of these pharmacies.
Yes.
So she said, I had to turn away people with asthma from getting a vaccine because Washington hasn't gotten it together yet. And our corporate hasn't reconciled policy.
But keep asking for it.
Absolutely.
If that's what you want.
Let me ask you this. Have you noticed that we are in such a high-tech age in most of the things we do? And yet when you go to the pharmacy and you go to or doctor's offices, we're still faxing stuff. They're like, if you could have them fax this, if you could have them.
Oh my God.
And you go to the pharmacy and they're chomping at these machines and you're like, dude, someone texted that they're using Amazon Pharmacy.
Oh, yeah, but some drugs cannot be done through Amazon.
I agree. Yes, I know. I'm just making the point that
no. But that's part of the solution and part of the problem.
Technology has been a little slow getting to the medication game, and I don't know what's going on. That I could have a Walgreens 2 minutes away, and I would feel the need to drive 30 minutes to go to Bartell's. I think it's kind of like, what's going on?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, let's talk about this feat that Sound Transit just pulled. It's a world first. Remember, I told you running a light rail train across a floating bridge, and it was a late night test on I-90. They got up to 55 miles an hour, and this is part of the $3.7 billion East Link project, with the cost at now, I think it's $765 million just for that Cross Lake segment. Mm-hmm. And after years of delays, they're saying that the trains will be set to carry passengers by the spring of 2026. And again, this is a big dang deal because it is the first light rail train on a floating bridge. And I asked you all the question, do you feel excitement or are you nervous? What could possibly go wrong? Okay, listen to this.
What happens when you introduce a high voltage current to a structure in water?
There is a risk of stray current escaping from the rails, which could get into the critical bridge structure.
Okay, some things that you didn't think that you need to worry about. That was Blueprint TV. Chef, correct me, talking to Sound Transit engineers about everything that could go wrong.
Yeah, they did a 40-minute documentary on the building process.
Okay, so excuse the music underneath, but here it is.
And how do you make it strong enough to support 300-ton trains?
We can eccentrically load the bridge and potentially crack it. That would not be good.
But no, that would not be good. Well, what about the fact that something so heavy is traveling on a bridge on the water? I mean, hello? And then we don't even talk about earthquakes. That all said, again, I asked the question, are you excited or nervous?
Nervited. My stomach is churning. One thing I love about this area, I came from the Deep South. And one thing I really appreciate about the Pacific Northwest is we have always been a place of innovation. I mean, if you look at the companies and the places that have introduced things that have changed the world, I love that. And I also hate it. I also because sometimes I don't want to be. I mean, I'm intrigued by this. So apparently they use this track bridge system. I guess it allows the tracks to adapt to the floating bridge's movements.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, it's really an engineering marvel, for sure.
It's an engineering marvel, but it's like you
off.
wonder, did you think of every possible scenario, especially with climate change and things that could, it's like, what's, girl.
Yeah, I know. Well, and then some people were pointing out, well, look at the history. Do you remember, and maybe for a lot of you this was too long ago, but do you remember when the original I-90 floating bridge sank? I mean, there wasn't a train on it, but it was during it was a Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving in 1990. A storm had flooded the pontoons and it caused a large section of the bridge to collapse into Lake Washington.
Okay, can I just shout out Nick for the
No one
music
was
to go with
injured,
this
by the
right
way.
now? I got to shout out Nick for the music.
Ay. Anyway, okay, we'd love to hear from you, though. Text line 888-973-5476. What was the word that you came up with? I love that. Nervited.
Nervited. I came from
Nervous and
my
excited.
old therapist, John Mace.
I love it. Okay, we'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
The John Curley Show.
In-N-Out Burger, is that the ones with the old-fashioned 1950s hat on and stuff like that?
Weekdays 3 to 7.
They definitely used to. I don't know.
I think they still have that.
Yeah,
they're
probably.
incredibly courteous service. I mean, I noticed that as well.
Yeah, they're
second only to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, those people are so kind. You could, while you're waiting in line, they baptize your child, spay and neuter people, dogs anyway. Yeah.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
Fixing every last bit, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Are you happy with how you're feeling these days? Are you slowing down physically or mentally? Ever wonder what your life will be like 10 to 15 years from now? Most of us don't really know how we're aging or if we can even do anything about it. But here's the truth. Knowledge is power, and that's exactly where we start at Longevity Medical Clinic. We run advanced diagnostics to find out what's really going on inside your body, and then we create a personalized hormone and health optimization plan designed specifically to help you live better starting now. Our patients are often amazed by what they discover in their blood work, and even more amazed at how quickly they start to feel like themselves again. This isn't guesswork, it's science, it's personal, and it works. Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better today and every day after that.
Most roofers around here give you one option. Two if you're lucky. Asphalt shingles and maybe metal. That's like going to a restaurant and the only thing on the menu is salad. Sure, there are a few kinds, but they're all pretty much the same, and none of them will keep you satisfied for long. I'm Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, and we serve up real choices. Yeah, we do asphalt shingles, sure, but what about something more substantial, like EuroShield rubber tiles that last a lifetime? Or a beautiful, durable metal roof that can handle Seattle's weather like a champ. We even install cedar shake, stone, copper, and walkable rooftop decks. Most roofers stick to what's easy. At RoofSmart, we offer what's best for you. Now, those are what we call options. For anything is possible roofing, call RoofSmart at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185. Or advancedhair.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Seattle will be adding surveillance cameras to more neighborhoods to assist police despite concerns it violates privacy and might be used by the feds.
In a 7-2 vote, the council add CCTV cameras to 3 more neighborhoods. Councilmember Robert Kettle rejected concerns the U.S. Department of Homeland Security could co-opt the footage.
DHS has no access to SPD data regarding civil matters such as immigration.
Newly approved cameras in the Stadium District, on Capitol Hill, and near Garfield High School join existing cameras along Aurora Avenue and in the Chinatown International District. Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
The Department of Justice wants Washington State to hand over personal voter information, from addresses to birth dates and driver's license numbers. A recent Reuters report says Homeland Security wants to use voter data for its crackdown on crime and immigration. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs tells the Seattle Times he's reviewing the request but likely won't hand over the information. ICE agents have mustered in Chicago. No major raids yet, but CBS's Darius Johnson says nerves are on edge.
While the Trump administration calls this a blitz, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker calls it an overreach, and the two aren't even talking, so that just speaks to how deep the divide is right now.
NATO and Poland scrambled jets overnight to shoot down multiple Russian drones that crossed into Poland. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
We always have to make sure that we are one step ahead, but I think last night showed that we are able to defend every inch of NATO territory, including, of course, its airspace.
Russia's defense ministry says it did not target Poland, but there are concerns Russia could be escalating its long-running war in nearby Ukraine. A close encounter on Capitol Hill, with a whistleblower showing some extraordinary video during a hearing about UFOs. More from CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
Congressman Eric Burleson shared the video at a House Oversight Committee on what the military calls unidentified aerial phenomena, better known as UFOs.
That's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
We've never seen a Hellfire missile hit a target and bounce off.
The hearing was prompted by those calling for full government transparency about UFOs. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 241 points, NASDAQ up 26. KIRO News Radio traffic. A crash is blocking a lane on northbound State Route 509 at Des Moines Way South. WashDOT is reporting heavy backups there. In Tacoma, it looks like there's a crash on northbound I-5 near South 38th. You are slowed down past Wapato Park. And a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound at Lake Sammamish Road. Your travel time's still pretty hefty. Federal Way to Seattle, about an hour. Renton to Bellevue, 33 minutes. Traffic brought to you by Washington 811. If you're digging in your yard, you are legally required to call 811 to avoid damaging utility lines. Call or go to digsafewad.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 70s. It's 61 in downtown Seattle. I'm Claire Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. A couple of housekeeping things real quick. Because after we talked about the bridge sinking, the old I-90 bridge sinking, some of our very smart listeners pointed out that the original I-90 bridge sank during the storm because contractors had cut access ports into the side of the pontoons. And when the water level rose to those open ports, it was too much for the bilge pumps to handle. And then the rest is history. Thank you, Chuck and UP and others who texted in. This is true. I mean, it was back in 1990. I just remember that day very vividly, right? Day after Thanksgiving. It was like, oh my gosh. So it really has nothing to do with, I mean, the trains on the train, I think will just be fine.
I'm knocking on wood.
You can be nerve-eyed. Yep. I think it'll be just fine. The other thing I want to mention is my sister Tina, who is listening to the show. She is a huge fan of the show now. After visiting this last time, she's on our YouTube page. And she is mixing it up and having great conversations. She says, it's a great bunch in there today. So
I
just
love
want to
that.
say thank you to my sister Tina, and thank you to all of you who are having great conversations on YouTube. But let's talk about phones.
Yes, Apple is releasing a new iPhone, and they're sharing more information about it. So one of them is called the iPhone 17 Air. And if you follow Apple products, you know they have the iPad Air and the MacBook Air. So this phone is thinner and lighter. It's going to be $999, $1,000. Apple's iPhone Pro is going to be at $100 more than last year, because everyone was wondering, you know, because these phones are still being made in China and India. And so people are wondering, how are the tariffs going to impact the price of the iPhone? In this case, it's just the Pro model that's getting the $100 increase. But Apple users are going to get double the amount of storage space, so 256 gigabytes. All the new phones, again, made in China and India, so they are going to have tariffs. Apple is sticking with the same starting price for the basic iPhone 17 at $800. All four models are going to be in stores. Oh gosh, September 19th. It's coming up. So yeah, that's happening. Here's my question. How do you we're at the iPhone 17 now, right? They've had a lot of iterations. Is it still a thing to go get the newest iPhone? Is this still?
I'm the wrong person to ask about that because I believe I'm still at iPhone 13. I have to go look.
Well, lucky you.
It's relatively new for me.
Because I used to be that person that it was a luxury. Like it was, oh my gosh, I can go get a better camera. I can get more storage. My batteries are dying. You know, I want to get a new one. Well, the iPhone 16 broke me. And
what happened?
I will not be rushing. I could never get the phone to work with my car. It just tons of issues, like issue after issue. Sometimes when you have we talked about being a new thing, having new stuff comes out. Sometimes they haven't worked out the kinks yet.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan. Let them work out the kinks. I will always go for the version that's about 2 years old. The iPhone 13, I would kill to have my iPhone 13 back.
So I'm curious. If you were to be honest and say, how much of your phone do you actually know how to use? Like, what percentage of its features? You know what I'm saying? Because the reason I asked that question is because I probably use 5% of its capabilities.
Yeah. No, I was recently at an event this past weekend, and someone said, "Hey, will you take our picture? And if you just tap on this thing, it'll zoom in on this, but then make us blurry in the background."
Oh.
I was never able to successfully execute the request. So I think that will answer the question for you. And so it's all, I mean, I'm sure folks who know how to use it, this is a great thing. but I just did not like the amount of bug. Here's what I will say to Apple's credit. Every time I called them, I could get someone on the phone within 5 minutes. They walked me through it. We'd work on it. But I've spent hours on the phone with them at different times working out. So as accessible as they were, I had a human, and they always fix something. The fact that I even had to call was the problem.
My approach to my iPhone is the same one that I have with my cars. I will ride this thing until it is dead.
Amen.
And that is it. I mean, it's all good. It does everything I need it to do. Why mess it? Even when I'm asked to do updates, sometimes I'm like, do I really need to do an update? Okay, and I'm so aging myself right now, but sometimes it's like, okay, now I've done the update, and now I can't remember, or now...
You see my point?
Yes.
Sometimes the updates and their new things actually make it harder. Like, I didn't ask you to put these in an album for me. I'm fine the way it was. This is not easier.
Maybe we are in the minority. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Okay, we need to mention Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, I want to talk about, because Girl Scouts, they believe in innovating. They're always doing something new. So there's some new stuff. They are rolling out a new cookie. It's called the Explore More. It's a sandwich cookie, and it's brown on the outside, so chocolate on the outside. On the inside, marshmallow and almond with a flavored cream. So it kind of has like a Rocky Road kind of Oreo-ish vibe, maybe. And the sad news is that they're rolling out they're removing 2 flavors. My favorite, the s'mores, gone.
But they're doing Explore Mores, but they're getting rid of s'mores.
Yes, they're getting rid of s'mores, which I loved. It had a chocolate marshmallow filling, and then the Toastier cookies, which was like a French toast flavor. So those are gone, but the Explore Mores are in. I honestly don't know if I love Girl Scouts.
Okay, I was going to say, what is your approach now then to Girl Scout cookies? Because there was a time when, actually there's still a time, because I have a neighbor who still comes by, and they're so good about it. Mom comes by with the daughter, and of course we say yes, even though I'm on, whatever diet I'm on, or I still have Girl Scout cookies from years ago. I have to keep cleaning. I need to just go directly to donation.
Donate them somewhere.
Because I don't think, I want to support the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the cookies.
Right.
If I'm going to get a cookie, I'm getting it from Hello Robin or Crumble.
Ooh, keeping it real. So, I want to call out Chef, because I heard something in our morning meeting.
I've never bought a box of cookies in my life.
How did you say no to the
How do I say no?
Yes.
I go in the other entrance.
Chef.
What?
It's
called
supporting
avoidance.
the Girl Scouts, programming.
Okay, Girl Scout cookies for me are like Seahawks tickets. They're an extra luxury. I've never paid for a Seahawks ticket because they're too expensive, but I've gone to a couple games. I've had dozens of Girl Scout cookies in my life, but it's always because somebody buys them, and they don't ever want to eat them themselves because they taste like wax.
They do not.
Yes, they do. It's nothing but high fructose corn syrup and hydrogenated vegetable oils.
The s'mores, okay. All right, I'm going to get some new Girl Scout cookies.
And I'm generous with our praise of Girl Scout cookies because we love the Girl Scouts.
Yes, we give them a pass.
But people love the Thin Mints. They love those coconut ones.
Are they the best, though?
Okay, I'm not saying they're the best, but they're good. If I had some in my pantry, in my closet, I'm going to have a s'more. Okay, we're going to have to get some in here.
Okay.
And we're going to get Chef to retract once he tastes it.
Text us. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Girl Scout cookies, delicious or overhyped?
Is it weird that I hear G in my ear saying, keep it a buck?
Keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
No, it's not weird. Okay, we'll have more of the show coming up next.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Cal has hit more home runs than any catcher in the history of the game of baseball.
The Mariners are in the hunt for October, and now's the time to pack the park and bring the energy.
The look in by Brash, the payout pitch on the way, and strike three called. He got him looking.
We're electric. I feel like the fans can feel that, and we're just going to keep this going.
An absolute tracer from Julio. He has homered in back-to-back at-bats.
Keep bringing the energy. We really need it. Let's go.
Out to right field. Way back there. J.P. Crawford. Game winner walk-off fashion in the ninth inning.
This team has a lot of fight. You guys have been electric. You guys are the key to this, so thank you guys.
The postseason is in our sights. Be here and be loud. Mariners baseball. Seize the moment.
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99, and we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale, now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The insurance world, it can be confusing. So have First Mark Insurance guide you through it by taking the free First Mark Challenge. They'll explore offerings from top carriers for better coverage and lower rates. They save the Heward family thousands. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings?
At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Mercer Island, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It is already 10:48 on this Wednesday morning. This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in, and it is time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
It's from Slate this morning. A month ago, our 10-year-old son, Adam, accidentally kicked a soccer ball into our neighbor's yard. It wasn't just bad aim. He and a few friends were playing, and they were told not to kick the ball so hard near the fence. Sure enough, the ball flew over and knocked over a glass sun catcher hanging in the neighbor's tree, which shattered on the patio. Turns out it wasn't just any sun catcher. The neighbor told us it was a handmade piece of art from her late husband worth about $400, but also priceless in a sentimental way. My wife, Ellen, and I agreed to pay her so they could replace it, but obviously it can't fully be replaced. Now for the dispute. I think Adam should reimburse us out of his allowance, which is $20 a week. And at that rate, it's going to take him months to pay it off, but he'd learn about responsibility. My wife, Ellen, says it was an accident, and at 10 years old, he's not emotionally equipped to carry guilt over breaking something that was both valuable and sentimental, saying he feels awful enough, and that should be enough of a consequence. I can't shake the feeling that if we don't make him pay, we're teaching him that when you break something, you don't have to make it right. But Ellen worries we'll crush his spirit over a mistake and make him afraid to play outside. Ursula?
I'm siding with Dad. And I would suggest maybe saying we are going to garnish your allowance and have him pay half so you don't eliminate, because that would be a long time. But he does need to understand that actions have consequences. He was told not to do it. This is something that is priceless. Even reimbursing the $400 is not going to make up for something that is so sentimental. And so I don't think it's going to crush his spirit. Kids are resilient, but I think it would be important to learn that lesson early on that, you were told and you did it anyway, and now there is a consequence.
Y'all are going to hate me for this. So, okay, I'll start with number one. When I was in high school, I accidentally flooded our house. I was I was studying, and I ran my bath, and I fell asleep while the bathtub was running. I wake up in the morning, and it's like swish, swish. I felt horrible. My parents never made me pay for it, but I learned a lesson. I think it depends on the kid.
I think that's true.
However, I think there is no loss. There is nothing to lose from making him contribute some of his allowance to pay for this. You have, if he doesn't, you risk him not learning consequences. But here's the thing where I'm probably going to get a little bit of flack. I think we have gone too far and not letting dads have a little bit more say in the discipline of kids, especially sons. I have seen so many situations where it's like the dad is saying, hey, this is our son, and man to man, I feel like this needs to happen. And the woman's like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I know Chef is looking at me like, what is happeing? But
in agreement.
Wait. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you would call me like a sexist, whatever. But it's like
No.
I think there needs to be balance. And in general, we don't need to have too mommying of boys.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I love this. As a mom of two men, I don't disagree with you.
I thought I was going to get, okay.
No. I mean, I don't think all men or all couples or all situations fall into that category.
Totally. There's
but
some,
I think that in this case, what is the harm? And this idea of crushing his spirit.
No.
I mean,
Well-
this is.
You're
Make him pay. Make him pay some of it back. Some of it back because I had a similar situation where Matthew broke a laptop. my wife's laptop, right? And it would have been like $600 to replace it. We're going to make him pay about $100 back. At his age, it's like if we made him pay back the whole thing, he would never learn what money is for, except for paying off debt, which is, I guess, a good lesson for Americans. But when it comes to dads, I have this argument with my wife all of the time because she wants to teach him the emotional lessons before the consequences. And I am like, I don't have a vehicle to provide significant consequences to my son. And I hate to say it, but I think your boys, as a dad, they should have a little fear of you. I had a little fear of my dad. That kept me in line. If you gave me the kind of consequences that my son got, I don't know what I would have been doing. But
I think just in general, there should be a little bit of fear of parents in general.
Yeah.
Where the kids can't just run the house and not face any consequences. I think we see some of the results of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I love this though. 206. How about the kid does yard work or help the neighbor as retribution too, or as a consequence? I love that as well because the neighbor was the one who had the harm done, and I think that's great. Someone else said though, wait a minute, $20 a week for a 10-year-old? The kid already doesn't understand money. Or
Well, it depends on what they make.
Sure.
But I go back to, I just in general feel like sometimes men lose their voice in the child rearing part. And I think it's important for everyone to realize that it's good to have the balance. And I might have a thing or two to teach my daughters, and a dad might have a thing or two to teach their sons.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I love that. Nick.
Well, he was told initially not to kick the ball around in the first place. And sure enough, when curiosity gets the best of the cat, consequences get handed out. And unfortunately, the effects of the victim party were worse than they thought. So there are times when I think kids need to learn lessons for the long term. And in this case, I think the meaning to what was broken, it's okay to let him marinate in a longer groundbreaking after that. No need to crush the spirit, though, like we mentioned. But a little reminder, I think, is important so it doesn't happen again.
I love
a reminder in the form
marinate.
of you got some skin in the game. It's going to cost you a little bit, and you'll listen next time. And you can still play in the yard, but you be more careful.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, we'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up next.
Hey, it's G. Scott. With kids back in school, it's rally time. And I encourage everyone to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Here's the truth. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong, stay focused, and live healthy lives. But for families on tight budgets, those essentials can be out of reach. That's where we come in. Together, the Washington State Department of Health and Safeway need you to help make a difference making fresh fruits and vegetables accessible to families and kids. Safeway is deeply committed to nourishing our communities. Every dollar donated is another dollar eligible families can use on fresh produce. And with SNAP Produce Match, they can buy twice as much with each dollar. Let's work together to make sure every kid has access to the nutrition they deserve. Next time you're at your neighborhood Safeway, please say yes at checkout to donate to the Keep Kids Healthy campaign. Learn more and start saving at Safeway.com/SNAP or on your Safeway for You app.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Spike O'Neill here with Dr. Matthew Sharp, owner of Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Dr. Sharp, I am amazed at the brightness and the clarity that I didn't even realize I'd lost before I had my procedure. How's that even possible?
A lot of people don't realize that. As you get older, the lens not only is less flexible, but it gets less transparent. And gradually, even in our 40s, 50s, 60s, the lens variety does get less transparent. So you get more glare at night, more halos, loss of contrast sensitivity, loss of some color vision or decreased color vision.
Exactly what I was seeing.
And so when we replace that lens that gets cloudier and cloudier with a crystal clear lens, all of the light gets through, all of the clarity, all the brightness, all the colors. And again, with the multifocal lenses that we have, it's sort of like a bifocal built in, so you can see near and far.
Give the folks at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens a call at 425-451-2020 or online at sharp-vision.com. Sharp with an E-vision.com.
Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call RoofSmart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call RoofSmart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. NATO scrambled fighter jets today to shoot down Russian drones over Poland. The first time NATO fighters have engaged enemy targets in that way. Secretary General Mark Rutte sending a message to Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Stop violating Allied airspace and know that we stand ready, that we are vigilant, and that we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
The White House has been monitoring the developments. CBS's Charlie D'Agata reports.
There's something like 10,000 troops there. And the reason I mention that is because they're going to have next level surveillance and security anywhere where there's going to be U.S. troops in any kind of harm's way. So they will rely on imagery, satellite imagery if they get it. They're going to look at launches where they came from, because there are some reports that these drones originated from Belarus, which would also be a first. And of course, they're going to be able to track them. You know, you've had F-35s from the Netherlands who are tracking these drones.
Russia has denied responsibility. Israel struck targets in Yemen today, a day after launching strikes against Hamas targets in Qatar. Edward Jajarian is a former U.S. ambassador to Israel.
You have Netanyahu acting unilaterally. He has weaponized Israeli diplomacy on all fronts. He isn't opting for diplomacy. He's opting for military actions to, as much as possible, decapitate the so-called axis of resistance.
Canada says it's evaluating its relationship with Israel after those strikes. The European Commission president plans to seek sanctions against Israel. Federal investigators say flaws in a pool deck were the likely cause of the collapse of a condo tower in Florida 4 years ago. The report says the pool deck began falling down at least 7 minutes before the tower, suggesting the pool dragged the building down with it. Reporter Peter Dench.
The latest findings come from the National Construction Safety Team at NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It follows an exhaustive study of the partial collapse of the 12-story Champlain Tower South building in Surfside just before 1:30 in the morning on June 24th of 2021. 98 people died.
ATM fees have reached a record high. Reporter Jason Brooks has a look at the numbers.
Grabbing some cash from an ATM continues to cost more, with Bank Rate reporting that the average ATM surcharge has increased for the fourth consecutive year, averaging $3.22, up 3 cents from a year ago. And there's an even bigger increase for using an out-of-network ATM, with that fee averaging $4.86, up from $4.77 last year.
On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are mixed. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Would you raise your taxes to support a local hospital? The story coming up. But first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. Tow trucks are working to remove a rolled over semi on northbound State Route 509 at Des Moines Way South. Troopers say there are actually closures in that area, so keep your eye out for detours. In Tacoma, it looks like there's a crash on northbound I-5 near South 38th. You're still a bit slow past Wapato Park. And in Federal Way, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near South 272nd Street. Not seeing a major backup there just yet. Travel times improving a bit. Everett to Seattle, 31 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 40. Renton to Bellevue, about half an hour. Traffic brought to you by Kia of Everett. Thinking of a Kia EV? Act fast. Thousands in tax credits end September 30th. Visit KiaofEverett.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. For the second time in 48 hours, burglars used a car to ram into the same smoke shop in Seattle's Greenwood neighborhood. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha is on the scene.
The owner says this time, though, he was actually here at the shop when it happened. Now, he came out when he heard the smash and grab crew.
It took them 2 minutes to smash the car and then, boom, flee.
And the owner said that he fired some warning shots and that the thieves actually ran away. Now, he says that even though it was hard sleeping here, he really felt like he had to do it because he needed to protect the store, was fearing that this would happen again, and it did.
The man accused of a hammer attack against the manager of a Bellevue Applebee's has pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors say 48-year-old Marco Antonio Herrera Chan was working as a dishwasher at the Bell Red Road restaurant when he brutally assaulted his boss with a hammer.
Sir, you have been charged by way of information with 1 count of assault in the first degree.
Herrera Chan is set to go on trial October 27th. The Pierce County Library System is facing 2 class action lawsuits after a massive data breach. More from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
According to court filings, hackers got into the library's computer system between April 15th and April 21st of this year. KIRO 7 reports during that time, files were copied and stolen, and they included the names and birth dates of hundreds of thousands of library patrons. Some current and former employees may have also had their social security numbers, government ID numbers, and addresses compromised.
The library offered victims a year of credit monitoring. The lawsuits say it's not enough. We've reached out to the library system for comment. Voters in South King County will vote on whether to raise their property taxes to support Valley Medical Center. If the levy passes in November, the owner of a $500,000 home would pay about $19 per month. Hospital officials say the funds would help maintain services in the face of major federal and state cuts. A dramatic comeback for the Seattle Storm. A 1-point win over Golden State earns them a WNBA playoff spot.
Back to Wheeler, catch and shoot 3, and she knocks another one down! Erica Wheeler!
The team posted that on X. This is the Storm's 20th postseason appearance. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 70s. It's 63 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. It is Wednesday, September 10th. Angela Poe Russell is filling in for G. Here it is, our 3rd hour already.
I know, it just flies. I have so much fun with you all. And again, the text line never disappoints. You all never disappoint.
Sure. And today, especially today, on YouTube, all the comments on YouTube, my sister said, hey, this was a really fun time. My sister in Germany, who listens to the show. They're 9 hours ahead.
I love that about...
She had to go sing in a choir, so she had to leave. But she said she really had fun out there.
I love that no matter where you are, you can take the Gee and Ursula Show with you.
Yes!
Anywhere in the world.
Sure,
right?
For sure. Okay, coming up at 11:30, we do Agree to Disagree. But right now...
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Let's talk about Microsoft. It's a successful company, right? Well,
look at the dollars and cents. It seems so.
Yes, the company's president... Brad Smith thinks his company is getting picked on. and he is pushing for other businesses to join him to protest our state taxes. So this was at the Seattle Metropolitan Chamber's annual meeting. GeekWire reports that he told business and nonprofit leaders that they all need to group together and fight back against what he calls Washington's tax-first agenda. And he's warning that new business taxes, from sales tax expansions to capital gains hikes, are threatening the state's economic foundation. And he argues that policymakers have forgotten a simple truth. You cannot have a healthy community if you don't have healthy businesses. That was a quote. And Smith says there's no cavalry coming. And basically, he says, don't wait for help from Olympia or Washington, D.C. And Microsoft is now pledging money to fuel a campaign pushing back on taxes. And Smith wants others to join in. He also blasted the estate tax, saying that family businesses won't be able to survive here if it does stay in place. And he said, Microsoft, we're doing our part. And he pointed to Microsoft's philanthropic donations as proof that businesses already give a lot back to the community beyond paying taxes. And he so we looked into this, and Microsoft actually has been successful in shooting down some tax proposals. Lawmakers did float a payroll tax on big employers, but it failed to clear the legislature this last session. And Microsoft was one of the companies that poured over $1 million into political action committees that session. So what do you make, though, of his take on, hey, all these businesses need to join in to protest our state taxes?
Okay, I just want to say first, this is my arguments here. There's a lot of nuance, and I have 3 different questions I'm going to put out. Well, first will be a statement, then 2 questions. You've heard of the term body dysmorphia?
Oh, yeah.
Where there's a disconnect between what you think you look like and what you actually look like. And I feel like this is money dysmorphia, where there are times when rich people think that they are actually struggling.
Okay, yeah.
No, this
Microsoft
is a thing.
Is not struggling.
This is a thing. No, this is a real. I know you're laughing, but this is a real thing.
Yes.
Because, yes, I agree. We have some really crazy little taxes here to make up for our broken system.
I agree.
Yes, I agree. And it's become very expensive for a lot of people. But Microsoft making this their thing, it feels like there's a disconnect. So that's why I bring that up. My second question, what's the solution? I struggle with hearing this argument, and not because we have a problem. And so all of these taxes have been a way for folks to try to fix the problem. I'd love to hear from him, especially as an innovator.
Right.
What are you proposing to solve? What's the proposal?
Let's do a breakdown too, because oftentimes when we talk about, hey, the rich need to pay their fair share, or the big corporations need to pay their fair share, or we always bring up they get tax breaks that others don't. And we just had this conversation a couple of days ago when it was like we were talking about UBI and the idea of giving $500 a month, which they're doing in Tacoma to very select households. And some people will just outright reject the idea of universal basic income because it's like you're getting something for nothing. Why are you giving these people who are struggling something, what they think is a disincentive? And it was actually Chef that brought up, why don't we look at it differently? Big corporations that are doing very, very well are getting breaks that the rest of us don't get. And case in point for Microsoft, a couple of things that maybe you don't realize. Our state offers generous sales tax exemptions for data centers, including on equipment and installation. And Microsoft is actually the biggest beneficiary. Since 2018, the state has forfeited at least $474 million in tax revenue because of this program. That was what
I think that's correct.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, that's over 65% of that savings went to Microsoft. In 2023 alone, Microsoft avoided paying nearly $68 million in taxes on its data centers. Okay, how about B&O tax exemptions? Again, Washington has a B&O tax, but many corporations like Microsoft and Amazon qualify for exemptions or credits under various incentive programs. And according to Good Jobs First, Amazon and Microsoft get about $100 million in B&O tax exemptions every year in the state of Washington. And then how about this? An education surtax proposal aimed at funding higher education was choked by a loophole that benefits companies like Microsoft and Amazon. The result is that those companies saved an estimated $460 million between 2019 and 2025. So I say to Microsoft, cry me a river. And yes, there's always that threat of, well, they could pull up stakes. And look, Jeff Bezos moved, and they could pull up stakes and not do business here. And then we're really going to be SOL.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real concern, but I can tell you when I moved here many years ago from Philadelphia, where I was taxed with a city tax, then I had the state income tax. I mean, I came here and it was like I was dancing in the lily fields. All of a sudden, I felt rich moving here. So many taxes have been implemented since then. But here's the third thing I need to point out. Why? Why is the head of Microsoft having to go on a public campaign instead of having conversations with our elected leader? I'm trying to understand where the mayor, the governor, I struggle with why does he feel the need to go on a public tour if these conversations aren't
It's because it puts pressure. I mean, and they are having the conversations. And right now there's a mayoral race. They have conversations all the time, and they do lobby the legislature. And just mind you, the state, I will agree on this part. The state is relying way too heavily on taxes, but the people that I think are getting hurt the hardest are middle income
small businesses.
And small businesses.
What I'm saying, though, less lobbying, and I'm saying let's bring the thought leaders and the business leaders from around this region, and let's talk about how we're going to solve these issues. Because the reality is we did see home prices skyrocket with the advent or the growth of technology in the area. They were part of our success and also part of the struggles. So how do we, and I think Microsoft has done some of that. They've contributed to affordable housing. But I'm saying going on these public campaigns, not whining. Let me change my framing. Let me change. Say whining. I just kind of like how the city was able to negotiate with the protesters at Cal. I just would like to see some leadership, some synergy around. If you're gonna poo-poo on the taxes, then let's come up with a solution on how we're going to solve these big issues.
How about we don't need to have those conversations with Microsoft, because we can see their balance sheet. We can see their 39% profit rate. We can see them cutting jobs at the same time. And let's be honest, when Microsoft does not pay their taxes, and all of us have to get property tax hikes, which both renters and homeowners pay for, in order to pay for essential services like schools, we're paying Microsoft's taxes. That is insane. And this hurts small businesses because they do not get the same type of breaks at all. Ursula, you forgot to mention Amazon has received $985 million in tax credits and rebates from Washington State since 2004. Oof. Now, you know what Brad Smith is complaining about with the estate tax, that families and family businesses won't be able to afford to stay here? Last year, they made a change to the estate tax in Washington. It used to be that you could exempt like the first $2 million of your estate from facing any kind of estate tax. Well, they upped that to $3 million. So now it's a $3 million exemption. Anything over that gets taxed. But anything over that gets taxed at a higher rate, meaning people like Brad Smith, who are worth billions of dollars, will have to pay a higher tax rate. And the idea that families and family businesses for billionaires will not be able to survive because the very top tier will pay a 35% estate tax when they die is ludicrous.
Because it doesn't resonate with people who are just trying.
With people like Mitch in the 918. Who says, I have to pay $500 to tag my car every year. That is not chump change to me. And these whine that they're going to pay the equivalent of pennies to their bottom lines if we collect taxes from them. Yeah, Mitch ends with
not something you can't say.
Something I can't say on the radio.
Something I'll never forget, and it goes back to my original point about sometimes there's a disconnect between what people make and what they think they are making, or you know what I mean, how it feels to them. And I remember getting to Philadelphia and I was making pretty good money and I was complaining to my coworker about the taxes. And he looked at me and he said, Angela, no one's going to feel sorry for you. So to Chef's point, if you're complaining about an estate tax that's a little higher and it's over $3 million, you're just not going to have a lot of folks feeling sorry for you.
Not to mention the fact that there is no corporate sales or no corporate income tax in Washington, and none of their employees pay an income tax either. So in my tax bracket, and I think most people's tax bracket, we pay about 15% in state taxes every year. People like Brad Smith pay 1% maybe.
When now and Brad Smith is on the extreme, because there are people with and even like you said, I mean, if it's 3 million now or 4 million now, I mean, it's still a range that many people will never understand and never have. But I guess to push back, because all of us are landing on the same side, to push back, one could argue, well, then what's the incentive to stay here? What would keep people from moving, and then you lose that tax base altogether?
Let's see, lifestyle and talent. Because people want to live in a state that is a nice place to live. You have to be where the talent is. And in Microsoft's case, this is the tech hub. I mean, I don't know how things are going over there in Virginia with HQ2, but I don't hear a lot of buzz about that anymore. Do you?
No, exactly. I mean, my oldest son moved back here. He was living in Miami, loves Miami, but he said, I mean, really, what I'm looking for is here in the state of Washington with our high-tech hub here versus many other places. And I think that's what a lot of folks have decided.
Yeah.
But
and I want to just acknowledge, I mean, when you look at the rankings, we do as a state struggle to make it a business-friendly environment at times.
Yes,
but
especially for small businesses.
Yes, but it comes off as tone deaf from a company that is thriving in a big way. And my advice, if I were with them, is to partner with some other folks and maybe elevate the stories of these small businesses, maybe the partners that you work with.
Yes.
And that will probably resonate more with your audience.
Yes. 206 texted in and said, it doesn't matter if the tax is 1 cent and I have $10 million. A wasteful tax is a bad tax, and I'm not in favor. They just need to stop constantly adding harmless taxes. To that last part, I agree. That I think that it's just been kind of a runaway when it comes to taxes. And we saw that in this last legislative session, and I think it was too much. And there's not enough, in my opinion, talk about cuts versus
and it's
adding
not just
taxes.
But would cuts even solve it though, Ursula? I mean,
not all of it.
At the root of the problem is our system is jacked.
This is correct.
And we have to have someone with the courage to be able to propose a reimagining of our
tax system. I absolutely agree. Okay, we're going to squeeze one other thing in, because with just a few days or weeks before classes start, Washington colleges still don't know how many international students are going to be actually showing up. This is a story out of the Seattle Times. The Trump administration's tighter visa scrutiny is actually creating a lot of angst. And at the University of Washington, for example, 940 first-year international students accepted offers this year, which is about the same as last year. But UW doesn't know how many are going to actually make it through the visa process in time. Bellevue College is another big draw for international students. I would actually argue many of the community colleges are big draws for international students. They're also bracing for lower enrollment. There's a lot of uncertainty right now in higher education. And you might ask, well, why does it matter? International students actually pay a lot more in tuition, which helps subsidize in-state students. So if enrollment dips, it could mean millions and millions of dollars being lost. And one national estimate suggests that the U.S. could take a $7 billion hit if international enrollment falls 15% this year, with Washington alone losing $144 million.
If we needed 30% international students to fund our university, maybe we need to reimagine that system too.
Thank you.
Maybe because, listen, I think we are better with diversity, hands down, period. I welcome international students. It makes us better. I love it for innovation and dialogue, all of that. But it went too far.
Yes.
And the fact that, I'm thinking about someone I know graduated this year, 3.9 GPA, AP classes, African American male, did not get into UW. And I hope this creates opportunities for people like him. And I also want to see us still welcome international students. But we should not have a model that is that reliant on that amount of international students coming in to make it work.
I agree, actually. I mean, I hope this opens up opportunity. It is going to be screwed up for this year because they're already allotted. This is not a time when maybe some people on wait lists are going to get off of them last minute, and maybe that's where they make up some of it. But losing $144 million, the system's broken again.
Yeah, the model doesn't work. I mean, it works, but at what cost? At what cost? Mm-hmm. And who is bearing the brunt of that?
Yes.
And I think if I do like what Georgia does in terms of if you have a high school student who gets a certain GPA, then they can get scholarships to their state school. And it's like, we need to support kids in our state who've done well and who've done the work.
Yeah, and families that have paid taxes here.
Yes, and still welcome some international students. Yes. I think we have to get back to balance.
Okay, I know that there are going to be people who push back on that. Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up next.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by MyNorthwest.com.
If you're like me, you probably have a running list of projects that you want to get done, and maybe the bathroom has been at the bottom of that list for many years. Well, it is time to move it to the top because with Bathfitter, you can have a gorgeous, updated bathroom installed in just one day, and it'll be backed by a lifetime warranty. Bathfitter's quality is truly unmatched. I found out for myself. We had a new bathroom installed in my mother-in-law's house before we were going to put it in the rental market. And Bathfitter was perfect. We had the designer come over. She helped me pick out all the different colors and fixtures and everything. And the outcome was gorgeous. And the price tag was so reasonable. And Bathfitter offers modern styles and hundreds of design options that easily will personalize to your space and taste and your budget. Choose Bathfitter Northwest because these are folks who work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. And right now, they are holding their milestone sale to celebrate completing 42,000 installations in Western Washington. They are celebrating with payments as low as $125 a month. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com today because this special offer is not going to last long.
And now, tales of another way. How long can one go on with the same scent of shower soap? Sure, sandalwood is your signature aura, but today you went tropical essence. Glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins September 29th. Save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at homecomfortalliance.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Spike O'Neill here. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens gave me back the perfect vision I had up until a few years ago. Now, never need glasses again. Never develop cataracts. Been about 6 months since my RLE surgery. My vision is better than it's ever been in my life. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens, privately owned, no corporate shareholders or boardrooms. Dr. Sharp built his business on the principle of always strive to overaccomplish, never overprice. Call 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com. That's sharp-vision.com. Official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Despite privacy concerns, Seattle will be adding a surveillance camera to more neighborhoods to help fight crime. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao reports.
7 in favor, 2 opposed.
The council voted to add the surveillance cameras in Capitol Hill, the Stadium District near Pioneer Square, and the areas near Garfield and Nova High Schools to help combat crime.
I do believe that this could be a tool and technology to help.
But there were mixed opinions on the council over privacy concerns.
Why are we doing this at a time when the Trump administration is using any means necessary to take this exact data to target trans people, immigrants, and people seeking reproductive health care?
This still needs to be signed off by the mayor, who has backed this expansion.
Police say the cameras have already helped them investigate and resolve crimes along Aurora Avenue and in the Chinatown International District. The Department of Justice wants Washington State to hand over your personal voter information. In a letter, the DOJ says it wants to assess whether Washington is complying with federal voting laws. President Trump claims without proof that vote by mail is corrupt, and a recent Reuters report says Homeland Security wants the voter data to investigate immigrants with. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs says he's reviewing the letter but likely won't hand over the data. The Trump administration says Operation Midway Blitz is underway in Chicago with hundreds of ICE agents and vehicles at the ready. CBS's Darius Johnson.
The recent arrival of Gregory Bovino, the U.S. Border Patrol official who led controversial raids in Southern California, signals this operation could expand. But so far, there is no sign of the National Guard and no widespread raids by ICE.
Overseas, Russian drones entered Poland's airspace overnight.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk in London.
Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk warning Poles their country is at its closest to open conflict since World War II. This after Poland says it shot down multiple Russian drones over its territory overnight. NATO's regular Wednesday meeting reconfigured at Poland's request to consider what NATO's response should be.
It's unclear if this is an escalation of Russia's war in neighboring Ukraine. Hamas is saying none of its leadership was killed in an Israeli strike in Qatar. The strike raised eyebrows. Qatar is a U.S. ally that's been helping to broker a ceasefire in Gaza. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 222 points. NASDAQ off 3. KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Heather. Let's see. Seattle Seahawks has this update. Let's start in Berrien, where the on-ramp from Des Moines Memorial Drive to northbound 509 remains closed while crews work on removing this rolled-over semi. This is at the southwest corner of SeaTac Airport. No estimated time to reopen. North 5 through Seattle is crowded from Albro into downtown. South Center to Seattle is at 25 minutes, about a 5-minute delay here. South 5 is looking good, just a little crowding between Northgate and the U District. Linwood to Seattle, 20 minutes. In Renton, northbound 405, it's still heavy through the S-curves. Renton to Bellevue is at 25 minutes. And if you're heading over Tiger Mountain, eastbound 18 is slow from the Summit over to Deep Creek, about a 2.5-mile back up here. The rest of this commute is wide open. 12's tickets for the Seahawks' 50th season are on sale now. Let's pack Lumen Field, bring the noise, and make history together this season. Secure your seats today at Seahawks.com/tickets. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine with highs in the low 70s. It's 63 in downtown Seattle. Another Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:34. This is the Gee and Ursula Show with Angela filling in for Gee today. It is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
So after, 2 decades nearly of squeezing our shampoo into these little thimble-sized bottles, TSA might be finally ready to ditch the 3-ounce liquid rule, according to the Department of Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem. She says it might be the next big announcement. Right now, it's still 3.4 ounces, and nobody gets a pass, but there's new CT scanners rolling out. Apparently, that will allow TSA to look through your bag without you having to pull everything out. The problem is this probably won't roll out until 2040, Ursula. Are they dragging their feet?
2040?
Yes. I mean, should we be able to bring larger sizes of liquids on planes?
They're signaling something that's not going to happen until 15 years from now?
I mean, usually it's 2 weeks with this administration, but yeah, they're playing long game here.
Okay, but I like the idea because you know how many shampoos and suntan lotions that I've had to give up?
Because you haven't remembered?
That was a long time ago. I've been much better about it, but I have to tell you that it was kind of a game changer to not have to take your shoes off. And the idea of loosening up some things without compromising security, I would be in favor of that. I would need to hear more about how they would combat some of the things that they were fearful of for all this time.
Like booze smuggling?
Yeah, maybe that wasn't what they were fearful of, but using some kind of liquid to ignite a plane mid-flight, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. I would love the idea of being able to take a perfume on without having to worry about decanting it, or
my hair products,
or even a bottle of water.
Yeah, this is easy for us, I think. As long as they are able to solve for what they were initially solving for, I am for making this less complicated and them having to collect all these bottles of things and going to lost and found or wasting them, throwing them away because they were an ounce or two above the limit.
Okay. There are basically two things that are possible in this situation. Either we've been playing security theater this whole time, and we've been throwing out all of our crap at the airport for no gosh darn reason, or loosening restrictions is going to make us less safe. And I frankly lean towards it's going to make us less safe because I can put gasoline in a water bottle. I don't believe a CT scanner can tell what kind of liquid is in there. There's plenty of propellants that you can put in a larger size bottle. And since I'm virtually hairless on the top of my head, I don't really care about my hair products because I don't have any. So I'm just going to go with it's not safe.
I would be fine with not allowing the water because now so many airports have the water bottle filling stations.
Sure.
So I'm good with empty your water bottles, fill up on the other side. I'm totally cool with that. But in terms of, yes, my perfume, my hair products, if they can figure this, I don't want to make us less safe. I don't want that, but
I assume it's going to be fine.
Ease is good.
All right, The Takeout, this is a food publication, published a list of the most overpriced steakhouse chains in the U.S., including Capitol Grill, Morton's, Ruth's Chris, Peter Luger, STK, Smith, and Walensky. There's a couple others on there. Ursula, is there a food that it is simply not worth going out to eat? Because for me, steak is definitely one of them.
Oh, I love going out to have steak. Because somehow I have just not
figured
that out.
Have you tried the air fryer?
Yes.
Oh, is that? I love my steaks in the air fryer.
I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have, and maybe I haven't. Maybe I haven't enough. But okay, chef. Yeah, you're being judgy because your name is chef and you've worked in a kitchen.
I don't pull this very often.
But
to be fair.
I'm just gonna say that steak is not one of them. Pasta is one. Pasta is so cheap to make that I have a hard time in Italian restaurants. If there's any type of restaurant that, sadly, it's my husband's favorite kind of restaurant. He loves Italian, but for me, it's like that's actually something I could make.
See, I will actually pay for pasta, even though it's one of the highest margin foods, especially if it's handmade, because hand-making pasta is a pain in the tush. And if you're actually preparing something, great. But steak, like Ruth's Chris, all they do is make it hot. That's all they do. Make it hot to a certain temperature. They serve it on a sizzling platter in 1,000-degree oven. You made it warm. Okay, correct to the correct warmness. Like there's nothing that they're actually preparing.
Do you say that about Metropolitan Grill and the other
every
steakhouses?
No. Generally speaking, yeah, because it's like I can buy a piece of meat for a third of the price or less and cook it at home with the exact same output. But if somebody's actually creating a dish, whether it's pasta or anything else, like there's creativity there. They're going to make it in a way that I'm not able to. And Angela, I was just teasing you on the air fryer because people with air fryers are like vegans, in that you don't have to ask if someone has an air fryer because they'll tell you every time food comes up.
Almost everyone has it.
Have you had the Brussels sprouts in the air fryer yet?
Oh, that's so true. Okay, Tony and Buckley says, though, you need to explain to me what a steak, a New York steak tastes like when it's cooked on a salt block in the barbecue.
Oh, what's it taste like?
I don't find salt searing to be very effective.
Oh, stop.
Personally.
Okay,
No, I don't. I like
Tony,
a nice char.
You're going to have to tell me because
I'm serious.
Have you tried the sous vide?
Chef is not on that one.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
The reverse sear.
The sous vide method?
Where you,
It's
that's
six.
called a reverse
My
sear.
husband does that where it soaks in the water in the
perfect
anyway.
temperature, sear the outside.
It's been good, but honestly, if you get a good piece of meat, the air fryer does it really well. If it even gives a little char kind of thing.
Okay.
A little Maillard reaction.
It's kind of good. For me, I love going out and getting pizza, but it is getting to the point now where it's become so unaffordable at some of these places that I might just have to get that Trader Joe's dough and make it happen. Did you ever get the Trader Joe's dough? It's like $2.
No, because it doesn't rise.
Okay, I'm just saying if it's that versus $40 at one of these high-end pizza places.
I know.
The other night, we left a party and we stopped to get food on the way home. And we were in Woodinville and we went to, it was a delicious little burger joint, but I thought, this is like a little hole in the wall. Ranch burgers.
Okay.
So people who live there know what I'm talking about
good?
because it's apparently an institution over there. Delicious. But my husband and I ended up with close to a $60 bill for 2 burgers, fries, and drinks. Like, what? What the heck?
How is that sustainable?
Gabby and I went out to lunch down the street when she came in with Matthew. I got a burger, and it was $26. And I was like,
this isn't sustainable. And this is why people aren't going out as much.
Yeah.
Because and I get the struggles that the businesses are having, but I
know.
I don't know what to do with that.
It's Yeah, it's real. It is very real for sure. Okay, text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Y'all have been very busy on the text line and also on our YouTube page. And so we are going to share some of your thoughts when we return. We'll be back right after this.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly from IRG, and Wednesday, September 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk all about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
Crawl space and attics are not places you want to spend much time, but many homes in our area can have serious issues behind the hatches. Hi, it's the owner of Crawl Pros, Richard Herron. For years, you've heard us talking about how we go where you don't want to. With our free corner-to-corner inspection to keep your crawl space and attic well insulated and free of mold and water. You've also heard about the pest control division of our company to keep your home bug and critter free. I'm excited to tell you about our newest division, Plumber Pros. Plumber Pros takes the same customer-first approach to plumbing that we do with our crawl space, attic, and pest control work. We've handpicked skilled plumbers that I know you'll feel comfortable inviting into your home. So next time you run into plumbing issues, from leaky faucets and clogged drains to full home repipes and sub pump installations, call Crawl Pros and we'll get our plumbing division, Plumber Pros, out to get it resolved. For anything related to your crawl space, attic, pest control, or plumbing, call Crawl Pros or visit us at crawlpros.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99, and we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale. Now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You're invited to the birthday party of a lifetime. Warner Brothers Discovery presents Bugs Bunny at the Symphony, coming to Benaroya Hall, October 10th, 11th, and 12th, in a special new 35th anniversary edition. Enjoy classic Looney Tunes on the big screen as the Seattle Symphony plays the unforgettable music scores live. Ticket info at seattlesymphony.org.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you. Because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. Celebrate with payments as low as $125 a month. A beautiful bath installed in one day, no mess, and a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com today.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling soon. Free Good2Go sticker pass at good2go509.com.
Northwest homeowners, when it comes to your roof, you need a name you can trust. Techline Roofing has proudly served the Seattle area for years, delivering exceptional results and lasting security. Choose Techline Roofing. Your trust is our foundation. Trust Techline.
And just like that, we are done with our Wednesday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell filling in for Gee today. We got tons of feedback from all of you, and so we're going to share some of our favorites.
Yes, from Microsoft. Someone wanted to, this is them talking about taxes. So someone had a different point of view. They said, I'm not defending Microsoft because I'm not a fan, but they're trying to control the taxes from keeping going up. It's running the small businesses out, which they need in this state to survive too. The small businesses are closing, and I know because I'm one of them who gave up. The state legislature doesn't listen to anyone, as you should know. They even kicked the Republicans out from the supermajority so they could pass tax increases without interference.
And I agree with a lot of that. It's just hard to feel sympathetic toward Microsoft given all the tax breaks that they've gotten. That's where we all landed. But there were others who texted in, like 425, who says, the amount of wealth and taxes that these large companies generate in our region is astronomical. It way more than offsets tax incentives that they've been given. If anything, we should be lowering their tax burden and inviting more companies like them to our region.
Stephen Issaquah, while the tech companies sound disingenuous, they also speak for us thousands of small business owners who no one pays attention to when we raise the same concerns.
We were asking, do you feel excited or anxious about this idea of a train going over a floating bridge?
Because we're the first to do it, right?
Exactly. World's first. Tammy in the 360 says, kind of like we were the first with the biggest tunnel boring machine, Big Bertha. How'd that work out for us?
So funny, Tammy. Beth in Everett, I definitely had major concerns about how a floating railway bridge would work before I watched the WashDOT engineers explain what they've been up to.
On mail-in voting and whether the state should be giving the feds our voter database information. Most of you who texted in, you said no, they should not. Diane in Seattle says, I wish, though, that the state's messaging was better on mail-in voting. I'm old enough to vote in person, and why anybody thinks that was safer is delusional. Volunteers staffing the sign-in sometimes would glance at one's ID, but most of the time, not. And how the collection of the ballots is handled didn't look very secure, and there were cases of ballot boxes being left behind at the precinct voting locations, which was a school or some other temporary location. I feel like my vote security is much better placing it in a King County ballot box.
Great point. And then we were talking about the snafu in the King County Auditor's Office. The figures were off by $900 million. Ursula, during my 30-year public sector career, including 5 years each on the county and city council policy staffs, I found King County Auditor Kimber Waltmanson and her staff to be among the best in their business. She consistently brings significant findings to the attention of the county executive and county council. She is not political and does not sugarcoat anything. We taxpayers are very fortunate to have her service.
And not to take anything nothing away from her service, but being $900 million off on the report is problematic. So hopefully that was a one-off, but my bigger concern is still how that money was spent.
Yes, I hear that.
And the lack of oversight on all those organizations that receive the money. On the pharmacy nightmares that now that CVS has purchased many of the Bartells and Rite Aids, this is a long one, but I think it's an important one. Sharon, the 360, says, Chef, your medication refill story rings so true. Just yesterday, I called Costco to refill an ADHD medication for our daughter, and I was told they were out of stock again. And when I heard those words, I knew the stress the rest of my day entailed. The clock started ticking for a race that I have run many times before. Now I got to call local pharmacies to see if they have medication in stock. I have to ask the cost to see if we can afford the exorbitant non-Costco price. If it is in stock, I've got to contact our provider to get a new prescription sent to the different pharmacy and pray that it's done in a timely manner. Then the worst part, waiting, because every other Costco customer looking for that very necessary ADHD medication for their child is on the same frantic hunt. And it's first come, first serve for a very limited supply. And when the odds don't fall in your favor, you start all over again because it's not an option for your child's well-being to fail in this game of medication refill whack-a-mole.
Ooh, we are feeling you, Shar. We are feeling you.
Yes.
And this makes me think that if you're on a medication like that where you have to, like it has to be filled, it almost seems like there should be an agreement that they need to have it in stock. Like
Yes.
it's like
But
they
it's
know
not
it's
happening.
coming.
I mean,
No.
I've been there too. When you ask for emergency refills,
The
sometimes
one business in the world that knows exactly what's going to be ordered generally.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Well, it is time for us to do our words to live by, and I love this. I don't know who to give it credit to, but I love this. Always be kind. If you see someone falling behind, walk beside them. If someone's being ignored, find a way to include them. If someone's been knocked down, lift them up. Always remind people of their worth. Be who you needed when you were going through hard times. And just remember that one small act of kindness could mean the world to somebody else.
I love
so
that. I have
true.
chills. I have chills.
It is so true.
It sometimes doesn't take the grand act, Ursula.
No, it can be the smallest
It doesn't
thing.
take a grand
Even
act.
a smile.
That's right.
Angela, thank you so much.
Thanks for
Chef,
having
thank
me.
you as always. And Nick.
Well, once again, we hear from good old Apple with some news of yet another phone being released some can't refuse. And in reality, there's not much change from older ones with your Facebook app and TikTok while you get calls from your son. So if you have no impulse for the fad, then save your dough. Otherwise, you're overpaying for a phone you already know. Because at the end of the day, I think it's a status you're purchasing, not a phone. So stick with the old one. Maybe wait a couple years or two and you'll be all right.
Wisdom there from Nick. All in rhyme. Thank you so much. Jake and Spike are coming up next. Have a fabulous Wednesday, and we'll do this again tomorrow.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
What if weight loss didn't feel like a lonely battle? What if you had a proven tool and a trusted guide by your side? At Longevity Medical Clinics, our medically supervised GLP-1 weight loss program helps you shed pounds, boost your metabolism, and feel more like yourself again. But unlike online programs that drop medication at your doorstep and disappear, we take the time to understand your body. We track your lab work, monitor your safety, and adjust your plan so your results are healthy and lasting. Because weight loss isn't one size fits all, and you deserve a program designed for your unique biology. If you're serious about losing weight and you want to do it the right way, Longevity Medical Clinic is here to help. Call Longevity Medical Clinics today at 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com for your free health analysis. Longevity Medical Clinics. Real medicine, real monitoring, real results. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Did you know that your windows and doors are your main source of energy loss? At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, our windows with triple weather stripping and gasket seals are up to 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards. LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Upgrade your home's energy efficiency before winter during Lake Washington Windows Autumn Savings Event. Save $500 on every window, $1,000 on every door. Plus, enjoy 12 months same as cash financing. Details at LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
I'm Captain John Kelly with the Salvation Army. The Seattle Addiction Recovery Program helps men break free from addiction at no cost to them through physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. That's why our success rate is nearly 4 times the national average. While participants pay nothing, it costs the Salvation Army about $10,000 to help one person graduate into recovery. Want to help? Join us for the Red Shield Classic Golf Tournament, September 11th at Echo Falls. Register or donate at tsaredshieldclassic.org. Together, we can change lives.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.